you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem, no, 'cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah. And nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Either way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find a better one. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, oh, oh. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, oh, oh. I feel like slapping a nigga today. Whoa, oh, oh.
You are now entering the house that BMU built. Get ready to laugh, be entertained, pissed off, held accountable, and to just have some damn fun. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button when you get in here. Take some time to also hit that Cash App at the bottom of the screen or that Super Chat to support the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Let's get ready to talk. You are now entering the house that BMU built. Get ready to laugh, be entertained, pissed off.
3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I can flip a dollar to $1 million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. It's a new day, days been new. Been a decade since I made it out of rental. We some owners, baby, we don't got no rent due. Might trick, but my wife, you like to trick too. Merry Christmas, hey, Saint Nick. What we want, get, we on wait list. How we got here doesn't make sense. Have patience, that'll make sense. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I can flip a dollar to $1 million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. Picking up the slack, joining this prime way, I'm getting to the rack. I do what I want, when I want, where I want, no cap. Put in all work, now I'm getting to the back. 25-8, I got money on my mind. Live life great, but I'm always on the grind. Navy blue tank, I don't wear it for the time. Real hustler, baby, throw my rollie in the sky.
Get ready for blast off.
Ball pointing cushy, so you know it's berserk. Trevor on the mix, so you know we gon' work. I might leave in one, find a beach and go surf. I'ma ride the wave till I'm out of the surf. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I can flip a dollar to $1 million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag, but I'm really.
No. Rough on him now. No, he needs to know. Okay. He's always crying. Tough love it is. Tough love. Wake up, idiot.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, man? Listen, we got another episode of Flipping Tables. You know what? It's good to see you, Lost in Translation.
It's good to be seen. Good to see you too, man. What's happening?
Good to see you, man. You know, how have you been, the velvet voice of YouTube? How have you been today, sir?
You know what? I've been to get some rest today, man, and I feel much, much better, man.
It always feels good to get some rest, man. We ain't no young bucks like we used to be.
No, we got to get our nap in, you know. It's like them old folks do back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Go in there and get your nap, baby.
Go in there.
That boy tired, Roosevelt. Go let that boy go to sleep, Roosevelt. All right, so listen, man. Have you caught up on the news on the young man yet?
I've heard a little bit of what's going on, man. And it's everybody got.
So what are your thoughts so far? There's a lot of black people that's saying that this young man is guilty and he could be just thrown under the jail
for defending himself.
Yeah.
Never that.
Yeah, he should have never had a knife, but he wasn't on school property. Right? This was not a school function.
Here's my whole thing. These people that's mad at him, they should probably be mad at Trayvon Martin too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
George Zimmerman, he's out right now. Why they at it? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So we got CJ in the building, man. I always here first. Waiting on this episode, like black liberals are waiting on the vote for a fake black presidential candidate who's married to a white man. Popcorn. Damn. He said, get those damn likes up. Exactly. Marcus is in the building. He said, shout out, salute to the panel and chat Black Men on Filter Network. CJ, Lost in Translation. All right. So what else? Oh yeah, man. So tell me your thoughts about the LSU wide receiver, man, taking his own life.
You know, that's what we always talk about, man. The unnecessary pressures that are placed on men, you know, and I hate that had to happen to him. And he felt like he couldn't, talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations where being a man is hard. You know, every time the world comes down on you, is always some kind of extra pressure, you know, and he can't, say what's on his mind without people, judging him or whatever. He has to keep all that stuff bottled up. So a lot of times, man, most men can't express themselves. And it's often overlooked. People are always saying, man up, don't cry, suck it up. You're not supposed to have no emotions or none of that stuff. So I think that's probably what took him out. And what people don't realize, man, there's no situation that you can't come back from. And I think a lot of times we like to put this pressure on men as if they have to be perfect, or there's no amount of correction that you can come back from. And I think that was very, very unnecessary on their part. Black man, what did you say about that one, man? In that particular situation?
Well, to be honest with you, brother, let me get back. To be honest with you, man, I think the young man had a knife on him. He defended himself. And I think it's bad that a kid died in but when people tell you to leave them alone, you just got to leave people alone.
Right.
That's how I look at it. You got to leave people alone.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. All right. So we'll get into a little bit more in a little bit. You guys see what the title is tonight. Family is dead. Let's talk tribe. All right. So thank you guys for being here. Who, if you're coming in right now, hit the like button, subscribe button, hit the share button. That is free. If you want to donate to the channel, definitely do that with a Cash App, which will be scrolling at the bottom of the screen momentarily, as well as a super chat to support the channel, man. We really appreciate it. Lost, what did you think about the show Sunday?
I thought it was good, man. I thought it was good. Anytime you got a couple up, man, and they're expressing to them how they did it, that's always a good thing, man, especially when they're in the community helping people, which is always a good thing. We rarely hear from couples who are doing good things in the community. So I was glad to hear from them, man. I thought it was a fantastic show.
Yep. I agree. All right. So if you do want to join the panel and you just came in, the link is in the chat. I think it's in there right now. Yeah, it is. All right. If you want to join. But this is a conversation, lost in translation, that I heard one night. I was up and couldn't sleep, so I turned on YouTube just to see what was going on, man. And I heard two gentlemen that we both know having this conversation, which was JT along with Uncle Jeff. And so I would say, you know what, they had this conversation briefly, and both of them had their point of views and different perspectives. And so I wanted to give these young men an opportunity to have this conversation broadly,
right,
as a show, directly talking about that, because they were talking about a lot of different things, but I wanted to bring in and talk about that. And so coming up now, we're waiting on Uncle Jeff to get here, but before we do, we already got the first half here. JT is in the building tonight. What's going on, JT?
What's up, man? What's happening?
What up, JT? What's happening, man?
What's happening, bro? What's going on with you?
Good. How you doing, man? How family doing, man?
Oh, family doing well, man. I'm doing well, bro. Most definitely,
good. Good to see you again, man, as always.
Look, it's above 35 degrees here now. So
what's
what's the occasion?
Where y'all at now as far as temp?
We're in between 45 and about 60 degrees right now. It was a little colder today. Yesterday was probably close to 60 degrees yesterday. So this is during that time of the year where it gets tricky. You know what I'm saying? So, but as soon as we have our first rain, you know how it does sometimes when it change. And normally the indication would be the rain, and then it get, hot. Michigan is kind of weird with the weather, man, because we, in December, we was looking at 70 degrees sometimes, and then it go right back to 19. Oh, it's crazy, but
Yeah, you don't know whether to wear a snow jacket or a short set. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You just say, forget it. I just keep the jacket on.
Right.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely.
Oh, man. Black and Proud, AKA, has something she wanted to say to you. Damn, JT, the melanated Klansman, just joined the panel.
Is that Klansman? I don't know. Whoever that girl is, that she really likes me. Oh, that's my girl right there. El Cheapo. That's my friend right there.
Hey, El Cheapo, if you want to come up here now, the link is at the top of the chat if you want to come up. Seems like you got your own channel. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so JT, what are your thoughts about the young kid that stabbed the white boy?
Yeah, especially if you seen it on Freezy. What I said was, we had two things that you can learn from. Is one is cooler heads prevail, and the other is keep your hands to yourself. That's basically how I look at it right now. It's just a sad moment, bro. It's a sad moment, and one man will not be able to learn from that message. The message is going to be for the people that actually knows about that story. So those are the two.
Yeah, because I look at it like this, man. The way people talking now, people are talking like this kid was supposed to just get his ass beat and just sit there and get your ass whooped by two brothers. If two niggas roll up on me right now, I'll fight one of them. But if two roll up on me, somebody gonna die. You're not gonna jump me. Somebody's gonna die immediately. So I don't understand the uproar of this young man defending himself. I don't understand it. These 6'1", 6'2" football players, 220 pounds, 215 pounds, rolling up on you, and you're supposed to sit there and fight both of them? Hell no. No.
Yeah, being a teenager before, being in sports before, and being able and being in fights before, you know, like I said, for one, we already understand there's no fight that is what they call fair. It's no fair fight.
Right.
However, like I said, it was unfortunate. It was a moment. I think I don't know if I told you on your panel before, Black Man, that in junior high school, I had got into a fight with a brother, and he was stabbing me with a pen. I didn't know while we were fighting. And we were in the 8th grade at this time. And I mean, we were scrapping, but I thought he was just, you know, swinging with the fist like I was.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, after the fight, well, probably during the fight, a lot of people seen that my back was bleeding. However, it was a pen. And the only thing I kept thinking at that time, that if he had a knife, it probably would have been curtains for me. So instead of me going and, you know, having to get what they call it, ink poisoning, tetanus shots, and all that other stuff, I probably would have been laying on somebody's slab. And this was in the 8th grade. So I understand exactly how fights can get. And we were just fighting over, it started out as mama jokes. And next thing you know, we were friends. We were cool with each other. But, you know, got to the point where we had to go ahead and go fisticuff. And like I said, luckily it was a pen and it wasn't a knife. But, you know, I just when I hear these stories, I'm like, it does get unfortunate for a lot of our brothers, because I know a lot of people that are in their 50s right now, right? And they got murder on their hands as a teenager. It's like I said, whether it's a gun, a knife, or whatever, and it's over some stuff. Especially, I mean, coming from where I'm coming from, bro. Detroit was just terrible. I know people right now that spent, a certain part of their childhood and another part of their adulthood over something that could have been fisticuffs. Instead, it was a gun, for the most part. And somebody lose their life over that shit, man. That shit is crazy. My whole thing is, I don't like the thing where the world is, or the United States is making this a racial thing.
It is.
You think it's a racial thing?
Absolutely.
They turned it into a racial thing. Here's my
Absolutely.
thing. I have no sympathy for the aggressors. Period.
I don't either.
That's just how I look at it. I don't care what you look like. I have no sympathy for the aggressors.
And then the dad to get on TV and say, who raised these boys? Who is his parents? He has a 2-parent home. They live very nicely and very well, right? Who raised your boys for running up on him? See anybody asking him that? Because he would have wanted to fight me. I'd say, who raised? I would have, if I was a reporter, who raised your sons? Didn't your sons roll up on this young man? This man just came and just stabbed him for no reason. And then
I get that part. I'm saying, as far as like, where's the racial part of it at, though? I think it was 2 kids that got into it. No. Somebody unfortunately lost their life.
Yeah, you're right, but you're right on the surface of it, and that's where it's at. It's a racial issue. If it was 2 black kids or 2 white kids, the narrative across the country would be different. If it was a white boy in the wrong tent and he stabbed him, it would be a case, but it wouldn't be a racist case. If it was 2 black kids, they might not even be talking about it on the national news. So it's a racial issue because it automatically makes people take sides, and then it's cut across racial lines. You can't deny that.
I understand that. I agree that that's what it is. But I'm saying that, was it the incident itself a racial thing? Between the two young men.
A black boy standing a black boy standing on a tent full of white folks. And
we're not going to know that, but that has to be. All right, we're good. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
What I'm just trying to say is, listen, would it have been a beef if he was sitting in a black person's tent from the other team? They probably wouldn't have said nothing to him.
Nope.
They might have gave him some dap. You know what I'm saying? So it automatically was these guys came in and it's on record that they pushed up on him because he was black. If he was a white boy sitting in there from the other team, they might not have pushed up on that guy. Not like the same way they pushed up on him. So, I mean, we could try to, I think we should just lean into the fact that it's a racial incident. Now, the only thing I would say is this guy going to get a fair trial. Now,
No.
if I was going to count some bennies, the fact that they lowered his bail says that it's an admission that the original bail was excessive. At least it was that admission, right? So I just think that, we could all speculate. Hopefully he gets his day in court. Well, he's going to get his day in court. Now, can he get a fair trial? If it's in that area, I'm not sure. Shit, they don't live that far away from each other.
Nope.
Right there in the same neighborhood, correct?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. It's just tough, man. I'm just sitting back and said, listen, it's just lives lost. No matter what, man, he's not getting his life back. And,
I don't. Where do you guys know that initially someone that had a murder charge against them, where they had like a $10,000 bail, a murder trial?
Even I heard what's his name? Judge Joe Brown was talking about it, and they asked him. They said, "How do you feel about the $1 million bail?" He said, "They're full of shit." Because they shouldn't have never charged him with first-degree murder. It should have been manslaughter, and also self-defense. And he said that by law, that $1 million is way too much, especially for a child that doesn't have any priors.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He said this boy has never had any trouble with the law. He ain't never been in no trouble. He's a good kid, good student. He had one incident, and you give him $1 million, like he gonna flee the country.
I've never seen any case, though, where someone had a murder charge. Now, I understand the whole thing on charging them with murder, but I've just never seen someone that had a murder charge and it wasn't excessive or it wasn't a bail. A murder charge. I've never seen a low initially.
Well, if I may say, it sounds like it feels like you're unhappy to see it here. I could be wrong, but it almost sounds like we're not talking about a 17-year-old honor student that happens to be black. Because here's the one thing that our people don't get from each other: grace we don't deserve.
What I'm saying is that I've never heard of it. I come from a place where I know people that had murder charges. And initially, they end up either not having a bail or the bail was set at $1 million. I've never heard of it. Whether I'm happy about it or not is irrelevant. I'm asking you guys.
No, does anybody know? He got out on 250. They lowered it to 250K. I'm trying to figure out.
That's not the question. Just answer the question. No, I haven't.
So I'm reading right now. They said the average bail for murder, depending on the state, can average anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000. They just loaded to 250.
I know, I understand what you guys are saying, but they would make it again. I've never heard of a bail being, even if you say 50,000, right? Is it a $50,000 cash bond, or is it a 10%?
It's 10.
It's always 10.
No, it's not always 10.
In this case, it's 10%.
It's 10%.
Right. In this case, it is. And she had to, and this is the thing. They would say it. They won't say 250,000, and they won't tell you what type of bond it is.
10% is understood, though.
No, it's not no, it's not in court. They will tell you if it's a 10% a cash bond.
Do I
cash bond mean cash bond, a cash bond. Listen to what I'm saying, y'all. A cash bond is going to either specify it or not in court. It's not going to be, well, y'all just understand what it is. And it makes a big difference. 250,000 cash bond is way bigger than, even if it was $1 million, it still would be $100,000 if it was a 10%, and they have to specify it. Matter of fact, they would specify it all the way around. So I don't understand what y'all saying. I know what I'm talking about when it comes down to that.
I think what it is that I feel like somebody left their bike in the driveway one time too many. Are you mad at us? Did I do something? I just got.
I just want to have a regular. Yeah, I did. Okay, you did. So all I'm saying is this: let's just have a conversation tonight. Okay.
Okay. That's what we want. That's what we want. I feel like I owe you money.
No, it don't sound like that, bro. Trust me, it don't sound like that, Jeff.
Now I do want to say,
I'm coming in peace.
No, you don't come in peace. You don't come in peace. You don't come in peace, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Hold
on now. Y'all got the fish grease rolling already, man.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna tell y'all
that shit the fuck down.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is that they put both pictures up on the screen of these two young men. Okay. They put the white boy up smiling and all happy at a park, and then they put the mug shot up of the black boy. See that?
Right. No. And black men, that's what I was saying. When it comes down to it, that's what I have a problem with. The racial part that they're putting on, the narrative that they're putting on it. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing that you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that I don't like this whole thing where it's a racial thing between what happened. One teenager murdered another teenager. We understand that right there. It was the sense of it is already screwed up for us. You got two kids. One lost their life. So you can't put him on trial. It's done with him. And the other one is looking at doing a lot of time.
His life is irreversibly changed.
And you know what? I tell my son this, and people say, now that I'm saying it publicly, people say that I'm wrong. Sharon said I'm wrong, but Sharon can't tell me how to raise my child because my son right now could probably beat the brakes off Sharon's ass. But I will say this right now. I told my son, don't start no fight. Don't be stupid. Don't be a bully because I'll beat your ass. Don't be no bully. Don't start no fight. No, do none of that. Right? I say, but if he puts his hands on you and he try to hurt you or harm you, bring me back an eyeball. Mm-hmm. That's what I tell him.
I'm stealing that.
That couldn't be. It couldn't be my son in that situation.
Okay.
Because JJ, especially my baby boy, my 12-year-old, you're not gonna do that. You put your hands on him, he gonna hit you immediately.
He gonna let them things go.
Yeah, he gonna let them things go. My 12-year-old is a motherfucker. So
I gotta say this. This is a rare time in my life that I wish I had a time machine so I could go back just to say, bring me back an eyeball to my sons.
Yeah.
I raised my sons without that phrase, but I always taught my sons. That's my cat right there. I always taught my sons that if the three of you are around, there is no such thing as a fair fight.
Come on, shit. That's what I tell mine too, boy.
If
you preaching tonight.
Your brother fighting, I don't care if he winning.
Exactly.
Because it sends the message that it's impossible to fuck with one of you.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. If you see your brother fighting, jump in.
Yep. And they asked me at the school, Uncle Jeff.
What's that?
So what do you plan to ask me at the school? So what do you plan to do with your son? Take him to get some ice cream. Listen, right? I'm not. I just had an incident. I'm gonna say this and we'll move on. It was an incident at the school where my son Kobe got into a fight with a bigger boy. Now Kobe's older than JJ, the baby boy. So and it takes a lot to get Kobe to fight, because he just want them laid back. It take a lot.
Peaceful.
And the boy was fucking with him. So Kobe had to defend himself. And so Kobe got in a little squabble with the boy, but the boy got the best of Kobe because he was way bigger. He beat my son ass. So my son, who is in the 6th grade, who's on the first floor of the school, is 3-story school. He's on the first floor. The 8th graders, which is what my son is at the top. My son sees his brother going in the office. He asked, what happened? They say he got in a fight with some dude. They're looking for him. He in class. He in the 8th grade. My son leaves the 6th grade floor, goes up to the 8th grade floor, runs in the classroom, and start fighting immediately. I mean, what do you want?
Bruh,
listen.
bring them both to the house. Bring them both to the house.
My boys, man, look, my boys don't play no. They. It's all about family. I told them, ain't nobody off limits. Don't let nobody disrespect your sister. Don't let nobody put their hands on your sisters or you. And if they do, bring me back an eyeball.
You tell Kobe. You tell Kobe that his Uncle Jeff say, you know what a 6'2", 250-pound man says when you hit him in the throat?
You're crazy enough, motherfucker. All right, man. Hey, welcome to the show. JT is in the building tonight, man. We got Uncle Jeff, we got R Payne, we got JT in the building, man. We appreciate you guys being here. The chat, y'all liven it up a little bit, so thank you for being here as well. Coach Fergus in the back waiting on him to turn his camera on. I think he putting lotion on his legs or something.
Wow. That's uncalled for. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, but the conversation tonight, guys, I want to just go ahead and hop right on the conversation. Family is dead. Let's talk tribe. All right. So I heard a bit of this conversation between Uncle Jeff and JT a few days ago when they were talking about family, that nuclear family. And I heard Beans talk about it the other day, and I heard somebody else, a celebrity, talking about family is no longer a necessity. Family is not one of those things that's just going to get us over anymore. It's going to take more than that. And so JT's argument is that family is what it's all about. Uncle Jeff's argument is no, we need to stop family and look at it as more of a tribal situation. So I want to open up with the conversation with JT giving us his insight on what family is and what family means to him and why tribe won't work. And then we'll go to Jeff, and Jeff will give us his opening statement on why it's tribal and family won't work. All right, the very opposite. And then all of us on the panel will chime in, okay? And I'll moderate in the middle, guys. All right. So
how much time we got?
Huh?
How much time we got?
Here we go.
Opening statements. Let's do 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay.
All right. So Jake, hold on. Let me get this. Hold on.
Got the timer ready.
Yeah.
Throw the clock up there, man. Throw the clock up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it up there in a minute, but right now I'm gonna do it right here. Hold on. Let's see. Let me set the timer. All right. The timer is at 2 minutes. All right. Whenever you're ready, JT.
All right. So yeah, my whole stance is that family is where the foundation is. That is the building of a community. When you're talking about family, it starts with the father and the mother, right? And then it goes through the children, right? And then the children will start their family once they get to a certain age, and then so on and so forth. But it's also built off of tradition, where you will have morals, values that's going to be instilled also. There's no way that you can get around a family, right? You can't get to tribe if you have no core values of what tribe actually means. And tribe, in the times that we are in right now, is integrated through the foundation, which is family. I do understand that in tribe, you don't have to necessarily be a person that is connected, or people that are connected by blood. But you also have to understand that tribe cannot be just a tribe if you don't have your family with you. Now, one of the things that my man Jeff talks about is the difference between tribe and family. And when he talks about the family, he goes to the etymology of what family is, which, in the etymology, you have workers, slaves, sovereign, a group of sovereignty, and all these different things. But one of the things that I do understand is that etymology only means origin. It means the origin of what word. And we all can agree that what word means in today, it may not mean the same thing tomorrow. we understand that. We understand that there's a way that words end up being adopted and meaning something sometimes similar, but not the same, or totally opposite of what it used to mean yesteryear or whenever. So this is the reason why we would look up etymology of what a word may originally represent and where it comes from and what year it came from and what country it originated from. So I understand all those different things. But as we speak in the English diction today, I'm going to tell you, family does mean people that are not only blood connected, but it's the foundation of what a community actually is. And then tribe can build from there. But other than that, I don't see that you can get to tribal without having family first and foremost. And I end it with that.
All right. Uncle Jeff, you get an extra 45 seconds, okay?
Oh, yeah. I was wondering. I was like, shit, I'm a drummer. I know what 2 minutes feels like, and that doesn't feel like 2 minutes.
Here we go. Go.
Sure. All right. Hey, family is where foundation is inaccurate. Family is where foundation was. As is evidenced by every day, as is evidenced by the failure of it. It's failing in the face of the very Europeans who impressed it upon you. When I say that I am happy that the family is being destroyed, this is not to say, this is never meant. It's a knee-jerk reaction to even consider that I would mean that I have a problem with a father and a mother in a home fathering and mothering children. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that we come from villages. This is why this never worked. This is why so many of us had families across town. This was never something that was built for us. Tribe is integrated through family is false. It's false. The word tribe predates the word family by thousands of years because the Africans taught the Latins to speak. So it's impossible for it to go that way. That would defy history. Words are sounds. Sounds are vibrations. We are people of the sun. There's no way we can argue that. It would be foolish to argue. Watch what you say, baby. Words have power. That's because those sounds have utterances, and universally, those utterances have meaning. So you can change the word to mean something else if you like. But something like family, an anchor word like that to mankind, change it if you like. But it is what it is. And yeah, I where am I with time?
24 seconds.
Okay. Well, oh, there it is right there, 2019. And again, there's no other place we're going. This chasm in the earth that you're seeing that's cutting across family lines, you and your family, it's biblical. It's in every publication. I didn't say it first, and I'm done.
All right, everybody on the panel. What are your thoughts? We'll open it up to everybody on the panel. What are your thoughts on what you've heard so far from Uncle Jeff and JT? We'll start with you, Arpane, then with J Speed, and then last but not least at all, Lost in Translation.
Now I hear the back and forth. I mean, one of the things that I try to understand that the future is in front of us. I don't know if we're going to ever get to tribes, but I kind of agree, regardless of the definitions of the past, that if we were to morph into this tribal setting, it probably would be more uniform and more natural if we had families morphing in than individuals. You know what I'm saying? If we had whatever that foundation is, whether families are the foundations of life or not, it has a connotation of structure. And if we were moving into a different kind of way of living where we had a village it'd be nice if, I think it would be more orderly if families morphed into this village setting as opposed to individuals who are not used to operating under uh, any kind of rules that they have to worry about other than their own. So I don't know. So that's where I'm at on it. I mean, I hear where Jeff is coming from. It's it be it's not the way it is right now. If that's where society is going, I mean, we can argue that, but let's just say it is. We know what society was, and we know it's fallen apart. That's true. We can't argue that. So it's got to be something else different than what it was, because we're never going back to that structural marriage and all that other kind of shit. People just don't want to do it. Women don't want to marry men because they want to marry men on their own terms. That's an impossibility for any good man. I would never marry a woman on her terms. Never. And good men, I mean, men who are on their square probably wouldn't do that either. So the marriage is almost dead with the modern woman, So I don't know where we're going with that. So village, maybe, cool. But I think it'd be best if we went in there in some kind of structured fashion. So I'll just land it there. That's all.
All right. Then we got Jay Speed. Hey, man, welcome to the show tonight, my brother. What are your thoughts on the tribe and family scenario?
Just like to say, it's good, blessing to be alive with all the things that's happening around us locally, state, city, country, and just on earth itself. I don't see the argument in it. I think both of them said the same thing, really. And let me insert something and tell you why I heard. I don't see an argument. I think both of them had something great to say. And it's almost like when I listen to both of them, I said, can you really separate the wetness from water? And they talking about water. You can't separate wetness from water. They're talking about the same thing. So let's take the word out of it. For the first human beings on this earth, what did they start? A tribe or a family? I think they started a family first. And then as the numbers grew, it can come into the community of a tribe, village, or whatever word you want to use. So I don't see an argument because I think both of them at this time would help us. And I'm not one feeling like marriage and family is gone and dead. To me, it's just like heaven and hell is a state of mind. If you believe that, it will become true for you. If you don't believe that, and especially people who are married and who just got married, they don't believe that. So a lot of the stuff that we talk about is things that I had to convince my children about heaven and hell. If you're hungry as hell. You ain't got to wait till you die and get hungry. If you're happy as hell. You know what I mean? And so I'm just torn between some of the things that I feel like we're saying the same thing, and we try to call division in that. So I see great points to both of them. And I think we need both of them, and I'm gonna land my plane right there.
All right. Last but not least, Lost in Translation. What are your thoughts?
You know what? As a product of both, I'm explaining to you the reason why we need both. Number one is responsibility, immediate responsibility, which is normally your family, your father and your mother. Those are the ones who are responsible for you. But at the same time, I can't argue against tribe because I was definitely raised by a tribe. I've had brothers who lived across the street, guys in my own neighborhood. We hung out together. We went to school together. If one of my homies, mom or whatever went at home and she was gonna get home late, he can come to our house and get something to eat. We looked after each other. We walked each other to home to school. We took care of each other. We'd been each other's weddings and stuff like that. If something happened to my kid, I got you. If something happens to mine, you got mine. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. And I think the issue I think people are having is that they're trying to separate the two when we clearly need the both. We also have rules inside of different tribes. I'll give you an example. All the fellas in our block, all of us went to football. You know, so all of us on the football team. We went on, you know, that was our tribe. You know, we was a football team. And some of the girls, they were, you know, cheerleaders or whatever, but at the same time, we're still a part of the same tribe, went to the same high school, that type of thing. And then on top of that, to speak to a greater tribal situation, there's been situations where being in the band, we went to New Orleans, and when one of our schools got into a fight with them, you best believe the schools from our city jumped in to help our school, even though we didn't know these folks. I'm like, hey, they're my folks. That's our tribe. You know what I'm saying? So we looked out for each other. And I think that a lot of times, man, people want to separate these things, but we also have to realize that in order for us to be successful, we got to kind of leverage both. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is that normally our greatest asset is each other, relying on our networks. We live inside of a bubble. You know, some of our greatest net worth is inside of our network. Jeff spoke to it once before when we talked about making sure that, you know, you take a group of guys and you send them over to Jay Speed house to learn how to box. You see what I'm saying? Jay Speed ain't finna turn these boys around and say, hey, you ain't my kid. You know what I mean? You ain't in my family, so I ain't gonna teach you nothing. No, I'm gonna teach you how to defend yourself. You know, everybody has a specialized thing, and you develop pride in one another. And if I really think about it, in the 60s and the 70s when we were coming up, man, there was no greater tribe than I'm black and I'm proud. You know what I'm saying? That was our thing, man. James Brown said it best. I'm black and I'm proud. Even though we weren't living in the same houses, we were all still a part of the same tribe. We worked together. We had businesses together, that type of thing. Now, I will tell you this, the place for family is where you hone the attributes of the tribe. There's a way that we operate. You understand what I'm saying? That is more specialized inside your particular unit. So when a father teaches a son, instructs him how to live and how to be, it's in accordance to what the tribe does. You know, you take care of your women and your kids and your family. You know, you go out and you earn a living and you work with your brothers. You know, that is the essence of the tribe. And nobody is left behind. If you see somebody's kid down the street or whatever, and their mom or whatever is not at home, or their father's not at home, you take care of them because that's a part of your tribe. So I can definitely see the benefits of both. So I don't think you can separate one from the other. But I will tell you this, though. Being a part of a tribe is a great experience because it gives you safety, you know, in the multitude of counsel. You know, that's in the Bible itself. And you know for a fact, if you saw somebody in your neighborhood that you were cool with, you know you were safe. But the minute somebody else came out of the, you know, come out of the blue, out of the woodwork, then everybody kind of band together and say, hey man, where you from? Or as the kids say, what set you from? You know what I mean? Yeah, hey, we don't know you, you know. What's your business here? You know, that type of thing. So I think that we all have to take a step back and look at it and say, hey, you know, there are benefits to both. And I think that one speaks to the greater of the other, and the other one speaks to the more specialized rules of the group. And that most of the guys or the elders can relate to and say, hey, look, these are the ground rules. Everybody knows that we all have ground rules as far as black folks is concerned. But I think when the absence of fathers and mothers in our families, that component is missing, and it also destroys the tribe because nobody knows the rules. So I will say this, the tribe in itself is one of those things that actually reinforces the family, and the family itself reinforces the tribe. So it's kind of hard to separate the two because you definitely need both for both reasons.
All right.
Hey, black man.
Yeah.
He said something important, and I want this to go over everybody's head.
Okay, go ahead.
He said, James Brown, I'm black and I'm proud. And the reason why James Brown made that song is because of the death of Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And everybody was going crazy and riots, and he wanted the family to stay together. And he got kids to go into this rinky-dinky studio, just kids, and just regurgitate what he was saying. And you listen to the song, you hear the kids in there. So That's part of the tribe right there. You see what I'm saying? But each one of them people came from family. So it's very important. I just wanted to get, I didn't want people to miss the importance of what he said when he said the song "I'm Black and Proud," because people just think it was just a slogan. It was a time.
Right. All right. Uncle Jeff and well, JT, who went first for with opening or
Jeff.
Okay, so Uncle Jeff.
JT went first.
Okay, Uncle Jeff. So what are your thoughts about what you've heard so far from everybody on the panel? Then what you heard from JT?
I think only time will truly make us understand what it is I'm saying, because we all love who we love, and nobody here do I count as an irresponsible, unaccountable, lackluster father, brother, none of that. Don't nobody here love their family no more than I love mine. What I'm saying to you is that it's impossible. Somebody said, I think it was Brother Jay Speed said that he believes family was first. Well, that's not possible. It's literally mathematically impossible because of where the word family comes from. It comes from group of workers. That's what it meant. I'm gonna put these people together, make them make babies, and one will be the landlord. And that was a European setup that was thrust upon us. That's breaking now. And I'm not talking about being faithful to one woman or responsible for your children or any of the other tenets we believe in. I am saying that mold that those tenets were in is cracking. And it's just going back to where we were. And if you look around, and the biggest evidence is the people in your family you love the most that just won't listen to the wisdom. You see what's in front of them. You don't like it, but that's where they're going. And you know who's going to replace them? The members of your tribe. That's how it go down. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right at 2 minutes too. All right, JT.
So the point of contention that I have is that moving forward, how do you get to a tribe when you don't have family? That's my whole point of contention right there. That makes no sense to me. Again, when you're talking about getting rid of family and getting to tribe, that is mathematically impossible. And that's where I have the point of contention at. I don't need 2 minutes. That's where I'm at.
Okay. All right, so let's open up the panel for that question. Ask that question again. And welcome to the show. Coach Ferg is here tonight. What's going on, my guy? Good to see you, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, not really. You can be real low.
Am I okay now?
Yeah,
that's better. That's better.
It's the sunglasses. I think it was.
We can't hear
but
you.
Anyway, I do have a question for. Can we open up the panel with a question for the two individuals who's having this?
Well, let's answer JT's question first. Then we can open up the questions for them. Hey, JT, what was your question?
How can we get to tribe?
Yeah, tribe without having family.
Without having.
And anybody can jump in on that.
Oh, then I'd love to take it.
I left it up for Uncle Jeff. Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay. I'd love to take it. That is, a matter of fact, that is the only way. What you're by you saying you don't understand that means that you haven't dealt with the fall of any empire, the fall of any civilization. You've missed out on a lot of movies where people who they absolutely love, that's The Walking Dead. That's every catastrophe movie I've ever seen. People have to make bonds with other people. And those people together become a tribe. Family is a group of people who, kids need to learn this early. Your family, everybody here, your family, the people that came before you, is made up of a group of people who decided to fuck another group of people and they didn't ask you shit. JT, you got 4 or 5 uncles and aunties older than you that didn't ask you a damn thing when they got ready to make some babies. That's who they are. And as we move forward in time, that is being made more apparent by the people who will not walk in the ways of the Most High. And that's not a straight line. That's a crooked line. That's going to break your heart. It's going to be people you're going to have to say goodbye to that's going to break your damn heart because you got to do what God say do. When that breaks, the people who find themselves together, as has happened since the beginning of mankind, over and over again and over again, in anything you read, if you look for it, they're going to make a tribe. You cannot have family without this hierarchy. This hierarchy is crumbling, and this is the opportunity to reset. And it is very important to make that distinction. I think it's very important.
Okay.
I landed there.
Now, I'm going to piggyback on that question. Now, Black Man Unfiltered, you had this show in the daytime. You probably catch me at my worst, but since I went to night school, I'm real smart at nighttime. Okay? So we're going to try to do some math here, okay?
Smart at nighttime.
Stupid,
this nigga's a beast when the sun go down.
So now, me visiting the continent 3 times and going into southern Egypt that we call Kemet, looking at the walls, and this is what make our history so great, is because most people had to put it in on paper, which could be destroyed. We wrote ours in stone. And so when you start talking about the scales way before the Bible, the 6,000 years and all that other stuff, this is what I was talking about earlier. I just didn't want to make it boring. But we got 2 people. We don't care when it started. All right. We got 2 people, woman and man. Right. They have children. Okay. I think that's 1.5 fingers. I have my thumb up there, but that's 2 fingers right there. Right. Okay. Woman and man. Okay. So from here, are they making a tribe or are they making a family first? That is my question. Then I have a question after that.
Okay. Anything that comes from them becomes a member of their particular tribe. Whatever baby she has is a member of that tribe. They can't make a family until a duke, a lord, or an earl involves his European self and decides that he needs a landlord who is licensed and experienced in the particular husbandry. The husbandry of horse breeding, husbandry of farming. And then that husband becomes a lord over his land. Well, he can't do that shit by himself. So he goes to another man who has a daughter and says, I'll take your daughter, but you got to give me something. He said, okay, well, here's a horse and 2 bags of rice because your daughter is a liability. All she could do is what I don't want to do and have kids. And once she has those kids, we are on the lord of this land's property. And you know what he refers to us as? To this day, if you look it up, a family. So it is impossible to get to that from here until you get to dukes, lords, and earls, because that's where that comes from.
Okay, I get that because now you made me where I can pretty much throw half of the gas out of the plane and I'm gonna land it. All right. So
you want JT to answer that as well?
No, I'm gonna get to follow up on it, then y'all can answer from there.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. As anybody know, I've been in this business since so long that it was probably I was broadcasting over a beeper. All right. But I want y'all to understand something. Language, and I think JT touched on this. Language, some words you can't replace when you start talking in different languages. All right. So I'm thinking we might be fussing on not the meaning, but we fussing on what it's called or what it's not called. Because I give you that, Uncle Jeff, that if he didn't steal it, the white man might have came up with the word, as we pronounce it, family, and I might say it wrong because I fuck up consonant, vowels, and everything. Okay, but let's just stick with what I said from the beginning. He don't get to define. He get to define his word, but he don't get to define what it is no more than Christopher Columbus discovered America. Okay, so family came when he was probably in the cave eating raw meat, pulling his hair by his woman. He probably came up with a bunch of damn words because he was a baby, and babies always discovering something. When you have a baby, they go around the house picking up shit, throwing shit. When they get about 6 years old, they start gravitating to other shit because they discovering stuff. You already know it been there, but it's a discovery for the baby. So I might give you that he came up with the word that we use, family, but he didn't come up with the action. What makes a family? And so I think that's what we go ahead, JT. I think that's what I think. I get from you, Uncle Jeff. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is we might be fussing about.
I can tell you very quickly. I can tell you very quickly where we're not. Did you know that the Native American nations that are referred to as tribes are not taxed? Because you don't tax a tribe. You tax us families.
That might be because they got their ass whooped and then they had to give up a lot of shit.
It is because the one thing the Native Americans do not denounce is their nation. They don't denounce their
they
tribe.
say nation. They
exactly. They're not families. They're nations and tribes.
Because of Uncle Jeff, because what happened to them as a group. I understand all of that. But that's another level when you start to get into having things given back to you or having things from the government. You have to have these things written in that form as a whole so that one individual gets something that should be given to the whole nation or the tribe.
But what we're discussing.
So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I don't think you do.
Uncle Jeff might have something to do with that green shit behind you, but I get what you're saying.
Yes, I don't think you do. Because I'm trying to make you understand that family as opposed to tribe means something so much today that one of them is taxed and the other is not.
One lesser than the other. I do get that.
So these are words matter. They matter.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not talking about how you love and who you're responsible for. I am talking about the fact that you weren't raised this way. Your grandmama and them wasn't trying to raise you in no damn family. We was a village, bruh. How many people, everybody here, Big Mama, I bet my pinky finger, everybody, the ages in here, everybody in here, Big Mama fed somebody that didn't come from her. Bet she did. That's what she did. Your Big Mama wasn't the glue for you just because she was the glue for that family. Your Big Mama was a nucleus of love, bruh. That's a special seat.
Then you gonna throw something else in there, Uncle Jeff. We call that a community now. I'm older than everybody on this damn panel now.
Okay, well, sure. That's a slippery slope. That's a misused word, but I don't want.
But you got me though, right?
No, no. A community is a place where you control the hospital, the bank, the police.
I got that. I got that, but
That's
when we
that's
was
something
doing
else.
when we was doing Uncle Jeff, when we were calling the community, we was doing most of all of that and some.
Well, sort of, and I get you. I get that, brother. And we're getting back to that. But we're gonna have to. But when we get to it outside of capitalism and outside of rules, bruh, these rules is holding on by a thin thread. Maybe I'm looking at some shit different. Maybe you guys see something different that I don't. I don't know how much longer these rules is gonna hold. And when they don't, when these rules break, brother, that's when you ain't gonna have to worry about the scallywags we all agree on.
Yeah.
That's when you ain't gonna have to worry
Reset.
about the shiftless ass niggas that we all agree on. Do you know why? Because like it or not, JT, it's gonna be some young men at your damn door that you don't even recognize that are going to need you to lead them. And they are going to become members of your tribe. And they ain't got your DNA. They don't know your aunt, they don't know nobody. But they know you wise and they know you round the way. It ain't no secret that you wise, bruh. To the dudes under the sound of my voice, that it ain't no secret that you wise and young brothers know it, they coming. Tell me that don't make sense.
All right, JT.
Again, when we're talking about the semantics of what you're saying, family, community, tribe, all these different things, they still exist here. My only contention, and it's going to stay my contention, is that you can't do tribe without family. That's my biggest argument right there. I don't care what you're saying as far as how it used to be. It ain't that no more. And we've been using family for hundreds of years now. We've been using tribe for thousands and millions of years, however you want to put it. They both coincide with each other in these times right now. There's no way that you can get rid of family and then you can go straight to tribe. It's not going to happen. Now, when you're talking about, things are going to end the way that they're going to end, as far as like the breaking of a family and stuff, we all see that, don't we? We all see that. We always agreed that the breaking of a black family was taking the father out of the family. Am I lying about that? You weren't taking him out of that. So that means that there's no tribe when you don't have the father talking for something like family. How? How do you get around that? That's what I say, that's mathematically impossible, because I understand everything that you said from that standpoint, what you're saying. I'm talking about now going forward to the future. You're not going to just get somewhere where it's just going to say, well, this is my tribe. Because people were born into this whole thing that we call capitalism, socialism, racism, all those isms. In the 50s, 30s, 40s, whatever it was, what kept us as black folks in America together and in cohesion was family, community. What broke it was when you start getting rid of the man and you start getting rid of his compadres and his tribe. Law said it too. He agreed. He said, well, shit, yeah, the tribe is this. We already understand the difference between the two when it comes down to that. But there's no way that you can get to tribe if you don't have family. And I'm just going to end it with that.
Okay, if I may. Again, if you look close enough, I'll just say it. I want you to watch any movie about catastrophe and tell me you don't see that. What you don't see, that what I'm saying don't make sense. Number two, I'm going to make these declarative, and just correct me if I'm wrong, JT. You are a family man. You live under a roof with maybe one or more children, or your children that don't live there call your home. You still with your lady. Your children know. Will your children know is that man and that woman right there in this house. So what they take out into the world with them is the principles they learn. Now, whether they follow them, another thing. That's another show. But they got them principles from you. JT, I promise you, when the shit hit the fan, whoever you call your babies, they not coming back by themselves, bro. I ain't I ain't on no witch doctor bullshit. I'm not on no I can see the future type shit. This just makes sense to me, bro. You cannot be that dude talking to me like this and other motherfuckers don't know it. When this shit break down, bro, you're gonna be in charge of way more. Okay. All right. I'm done with it. I'm gonna let y'all since I am so far left field. I'll stay over here. I'm just gonna sit down and put a lawn chair down. I'm not gonna try to move. There's no more for me to explain. How to put the history down. How to put the etymology of the word. Yeah, let me land it here. Let me finish. Dear people who are watching or will watch this in the future, you've seen me lay down the etymology of the word. You've seen me do it literally and figuratively to show exactly where that word comes from and what order in space and time. You've seen me count these men as responsible, men who love the people who are around them. No, they love their families. All I'm trying to do is tell them that they're going to love and be responsible for the people around them. And those people are not going to come from their DNA, and it ain't going to be a whole bunch of time before we get to them. Any arguments with that, I'm fine with. That's it. Those are all the points I'm making. Y'all have at it.
Trey Ferg.
I don't even know what to say, man. It's an interesting conversation. I agree with both in a sense. All we know since our lifetime is family. And I think, it could work, but as far as a village, but the correct leaders have to be in place before that could even work for me. And one of the issues I have seen is that everybody wants to be the leader. Nobody really understands ranking. I think the guys in the military do, but it'd be hard. It'd be a hard sell to us normal people who never seen what a tribe looks like, how it operates in accordance to the protection of everyone within that tribe. When I was a kid, we used to talk about the village raises us. Yes, it would be a time where you see old ladies, they can report on your bad behavior to your parent, and you would get probably a couple of whacks from Miss Jones up the street. And by the time you get home, it done escalated to every adult in your family smacking you upside the head. But in our lifetime, since we became those elders in the position, it's going to be a hard sell as far as, getting back to a tribe. But hey, at this point, I'll take a family. Y'all sort of my family, y'all guys, because we have conversations. We talk about real life stuff. And, and if I saw BMU's sons out here doing nonsense, I'm going to go into tribal mode and I'm going to, hey, I know your daddy, boy. Get on home.
Yeah.
So it'll be a hard, I don't know, man. I'm on the fence about which one I would favor them, over the other. But
it's not one over the other, though, Coach Ferg.
Okay,
and that's the thing that I'm saying. I'm not opposed to what tribal is, and that's great that you said that, because military men, we understand tribalism. We understand how to build one. We understand community, right?
Yeah.
We understand, and it goes. And one other thing that's very, very important that you said, we know what rank is.
Yeah.
We understand it. We know how it starts. That's how you build infrastructure. So that when you're talking about the tribe is what does build the infrastructure. That's what keeps the family secure, right? That's where you have all these different things. That's my whole point. I'm saying that you can't have one without the other in these times.
Hey, Coach Greg, you know,
Who's
You
Coach
call him Greg.
yeah,
You all big
Love.
y'all know
read that
Jay
shit
Speed gonna mess
backwards.
up some goddamn names now. Been doing this shit for 15 years, fucking up people's names. Matter of fact, some people have changed their name by what I gave them. But anyway,
Some of that stuff from Jeff and got on over there.
Yeah, it's coming through the screen.
Then waft over there.
Hey, Coach, you got on the Stevie Wonder glasses, but you almost seen something. Y'all keep acting as if, because you're speaking to one now, 40 years. FOI.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
So
Come on, man.
We said, so it's been happening all the time because we dumped our families right in there in the front row with Elijah Muhammad, and we became a nation. You see what I'm saying? And not only did we become a nation, people, a lot of people don't understand is, even though you're not in the nation, we're the first one on front line when it comes to somebody to look like this.
How about that?
Kind of
How
color.
about, damn it, bruh? I need Jay, and real talk, fellas. Just real quick sidebar. I need the following things verified by you. I know quite a few, but Brother Reza Islam is a very good friend of mine. But I am not a member of a nation, but these are the things I say about them. That, number one, they have their own economies. Number two, they have their own bylaws. They have their own businesses, their own thriving in this time right now businesses. They are the closest to self-sufficient in any type of collapse is the Nation of Islam. As an opinion. Am I wrong about any of that?
You're totally right, and you left out one thing. We got the only black newspaper owned, printed, and everything by us.
How about that?
The only. There's no second to the final call. It's only one, and there's nothing afterwards. Because every other media we got has ties to what don't like us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's semantics at this point. Y'all, if I would like to research or revisit. Yes, I would like to revisit this subject in 1 year. Yeah, about a year. All these jobs, yeah, about a year. This tariff shit, the car industry grinding to an absolute halt. The secondary mechanic industry beginning to slow down drastically because the dude's dying and people just abandoning their cars. This shit coming unglued. Yeah. Ain't gonna take about a year. Yeah, let's talk about this in a year. I'll be on the wrong side of this for now.
So when you say tribe, Uncle Jeff and JT say family, but when you say tribe, are you meaning, because you brought up The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
And for people that have not watched The Walking Dead, right? I also challenge you, Uncle Jeff, to watch The Earth Abides.
Oh, what's that? Where's that? Where is that?
It is on, I think, Paramount. You have to look it up. It's called Earth Abides, where there's a virus breaks out in the United States, all over the world, and only the strongest survive, and everybody came together as a tribe. The white men started being with the black women.
That came right after. What was the other one? The other series that came before that? Because you put me up on that one. I was watching the other series.
From is tribe too.
Yeah.
Right, because they have different tribes. Right, R-Pain?
Yeah.
They have different tribes.
Earth Abides is on MGM. It's on MGM, and you can see it
Fubo.
on.
And Fubo.
Have you seen it, R-Pain?
Which one?
No.
Earth Abides? Yeah, I couldn't watch it because I didn't want to see the white boy busting out the sister, man. I
got a problem with that.
I'm sorry. I just didn't get to it.
Watch it for the other reason, nigga.
Okay.
I can skip past those parts, but
I can't say the word that rhymes with corn, right?
I got you, Uncle Joe.
Okay. Well, those of you who are the corn makers out there, please understand that interracial means black man, white woman. Don't nobody want to see Asian dudes do shit. It does not mean white dude, black, anything. That should be a category by itself. I don't want to stumble across the thumbnail. I'm offended by the thumbnail. I like sisters I like that, and I like us. And when every now and then I want to see, interracial, because shout out to my man Justin Slayer. He got this one video. I renamed it because he is on this girl like slavery is her fault. I was like, Jesus, I think he's going to break her hip. This guy was really, wow. Yeah. But anyway, down a bad road. I didn't mean to get down that road. Back on the road.
So Dirty Folks in the building. So Dirty Folks, have you been listening to the show?
What?
Yeah, I have listened to the show. And I had to tune in because I agree with Jeff. I just don't think he eloquated it correctly.
Well, hit it with it there, Damon.
I would argue successfully that you can only tribe without family. I'll tell you why. Because only men can create rules and follow the rules and enforce the rules. Only men can commune in unity, and that's how you get community. When you start talking about tribe, you're just talking about a special handshake, a pledge, a creed, and a tribal crest, some type of logo. 21 16-year-old kids came through and made the Black Pea Stone Nation. That's a tribe. GDs is a tribe, Crip a tribe, Blood a tribe. Those are tribes. Your whole community is the same thing. Y'all go to the same school. Y'all learn the same lessons. Y'all go to the same meetings twice a week. You got to pay dues. That's a tribe. You show me 5 dudes in the same t-shirt, I'll show you girls trying to sleep with them dudes. So it doesn't, women just sleep with the winner. Be winners. Then you create the family you want to have. The problem with the Black community is your girls are traitors. So you become GD and you get a bunch of sisters of the struggle, or you become a Black Stone, you got Stone sisters, and she get pregnant by the ops. Now you got to call the whole peace treaty to see your kid. That was in poetic justice when Tupac and Tone Loc had to be cool just to see their kids. Why they girl was with a whole other dude? You go to church, the church girl don't deal with church boys. They deal with gangbangs in the street. The girls go get college degrees to date a felon. Like, there is no purpose of going and becoming a sorority sister. How many AKAs do you know that marry an alpha? They don't, but that's their sorority sisters. Your girls are bad because you don't alpha them. And until men communicate,
your girls are bad. Stop, slow down. Say that again. Your girls are bad because what?
You don't alpha them. Alpha is domestic discipline.
Alpha, yeah.
Yeah, any store you go to, it's a mother beating their child in aisle 5. But you don't.
No, hold on now. You still in something? Because listen. Aisle 5, I've been at aisle 5, and aisle 5 is where the sugar. I said that's for the sweet nigga.
Hey, man, different stores. Kids get beat in front of the sweets too. They want some candy.
I say aisle 5 at Walmart, but you just saying aisle 5, so we'll just
echo.
Yeah.
Either way.
Dirty Folks.
Dirty Folks got an echo.
I got an echo.
Yeah, because you ain't got no earphones on.
No, I can take the echo out. Look, all I'm saying is,
you're still in there?
It's still in there. Mute yourself, nigga.
No, man. I don't know.
Hey, a black man. I'm
Yeah, go
Flippin.
ahead.
It's his head.
I put up a video this morning, and somebody got it.
See, now it's
I got
gone.
it. Go ahead.
Okay, so I put up a video this morning about 4 o'clock this morning, and I forgot, taking Dr. Khalid around for like 7 years in West Point. I forgot about this.
Is it still there? It's going now.
Yes,
No,
but I'm gonna get this one point in. And Dirty Folks brung up something and it just hit me across the head. The video shot out this morning. If your woman tells you she gonna call a man on you, what is she really saying to you?
You're not the man.
You ain't the man. So is that her fault?
Well, that depends on how deep a siege you want to go.
I'm just asking because if I say, wait a minute. Okay. So you can get it all in, Uncle Jeff.
Yes, sir.
If I got a certificate on my wall and says I'm a doctor, and a person come in my office and says to me, I need to call the doctor, that means that person is not looking at me like a doctor, regardless of how many degrees I got on my wall. So I'm saying this, if our women, because I can't say your woman, I'm saying our women are saying, I'm going to call the man on you, that means you ain't the man.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to leave it at that.
But you ask a question. Who is that? Is that
the question? Is if your woman no. The question is if your woman say I'm gonna call the man. What is that saying to you?
That I'm not the man.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what it means. It means that she's no longer my woman. That's what it means.
Did you hear what I said?
You got to go. You ain't gonna be disrespected.
I got
you
that.
Got to go.
I got that.
So from a tribe perspective, do you look at that as far as relationships, Uncle Jeff and JT? Do y'all look at that in relationships as well? If you're in the tribe and your woman's out of line, are you okay, JT, in the tribe that Jeff corrects your wife if you're not around? Is that also a part of the tribe mentality?
I don't look at us having, if we're talking about right now, if y'all want to go back in the 50s all over again with this primitive shit.
Right.
Okay. Neither one of those really exist anymore. You got dirty folks talking about GDs and all these damn organizations that's been failures to the black community. That was a horrible example. It was horrible. That shit ain't did nothing for black folks, but keep our ass down. Cause all them motherfuckers is now is a bunch of you see the residue right now, a bunch of YNs calling themselves disciples and all kind of other gang ass names. They ain't shit but gangs now. They ain't shit tribal about that, and that shit does nothing for the black community.
Got a couple
shit
questions.
Sucks.
I got a couple questions for you, JT. I got a couple questions for you.
I want him to answer the question. Could another dude spank his wife? That's what I want to hear.
Hell no.
That shit was in my head right there. No.
Hell.
I like how you dance around that thing, but I just want to know, man.
The JT right
now. Put your hands on my wife, nigga. We got problems
now. Play. Let me break this tribe shit down real quick. All of us.
Now the real feelings coming out.
All of us are in the tribe.
You gonna smack my damn woman?
Nigga, all of us are in the tribe. Because I know if you smack one woman on the ass, I know it's been on your mind. Okay.
The tribe.
Do you know how do you know how the female problems will be solved? JT, if I may ask, is Mrs. JT over 40?
Yes.
Okay. BMU. Mrs. BMU?
Over 40, yes.
Over 40. Okay, everybody's missus here is over 40, right?
Most of them.
Yes. These women, I'm just talking about the dudes in here right now. These women right here understand who in charge. I bet you that I'm not gonna have no problems with Mrs. Payne. Do you know why? Because the shit done hit the fan, and Mrs. Payne and Mrs. BMU and Mrs. JT and Mrs. Laws and so on, all y'all misses, they got together and they gonna get shit right, bruh. Because they came from under a man already. It starts there with the wise minds here. Now bring kids into this of all ages, 30 and under, from 30 to newborn. Everybody we know from 30 to newborn understands. Because first off, nobody is in here that has a problem with the fact that the 7 of us are elders. That's clear. If you have a problem with that, then you have a problem with all 7 of us. You start right there. That get rid of a gang of problems. You on the outside. Now we got all the wisdom, intelligence, knowledge in here. This is how we start a tribe. And the young men and women that get together in here, bad news. Y'all don't just get together because you want to get together. No, we making all immediately everything with a dick over here. We making the schools up. Once we figure out you smarter than us, we gonna seek out from among us. We will seek who will teach you. And that's how you build a strong tribe. If anybody tell me where they had a problem with what I said, yeah. Oh, yeah. And finally, if I had a problem with Mrs. JT, you know where I'm going straight to? JT, nigga, like it is right now. I have nothing to say to his wife. Nothing. You're not to speak to it in a time of crisis. In my kingdom, in where I am an elder in the time of crisis, if you have any interaction with a woman, there is a man who represents her. And whoever that is, once it get loud, you stop. That you talk to that man. And if y'all can't reason it out, y'all bring it to us. And I guarantee you, between the 7 of us, we gonna figure out and get to the bottom of whatever the bullshit is. And it better be some big bullshit.
Real quick, Arpain, do you think the Isaac Hayes, what Isaac Hayes did when he was alive was tribal? Where he had all his ex-wives, all 3 of his ex-wives, and his current wife at the time before he passed away. All of them in the same house with all 11 of his children and 16 of his grandchildren.
If it worked for him, it was tribal. But I don't want to veer off of what I was going to say because it's kind of connected to that. And I was going to ask what I now think is a stupid question, right? Because if I'm looking at the women of today, right, they would never agree with this tribal shit. But it wouldn't matter because when men move, women follow when we move because they can't stand not being in our spaces. They can't stand without. They can't. So we wouldn't even have to convince them. We just gotta move. They just can't stand men in our own spaces. They just have to be involved, and they have to be involved. If they want to get it, it have to be by our rules. That's why I told men. I mean, I've been married for a long time. I said, listen, if you're marrying a fucking woman based on her requirements, you are blowing it. You're blowing it. It's got to be based on your conditions. It's just as simple as that, you know. But anyway, that's another stuff. But so I was going to ask that question, but I answered it myself. If we move, women are going to follow because they can't stand not being in men's spaces. They can't stand it. It's like they can't stand it. It's like they're crazy. They invade every space we got.
Now, Uncle Jeff, I got some real quick. Yeah, hold on, real quick. So answer my Uncle Jeff. Do you think that's tribal what he did, Isaac Hayes?
Without question, that is the pure definition of tribal.
I didn't know he did.
He had all 4 of his wives, all 11 of his children, and all 16 of his grandchildren.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was called Moses, though. Being
he was.
Okay, so I mean that's a little different thing. He was called Moses throughout his career. But Mr. Payne, I
Yes,
do want to
sir.
know how long you say you was married?
It'd be 38 years in August.
My dude.
Oh hell, y'all didn't
My
even
dude.
have paper to sign. What y'all put a pen in your finger and y'all put some blood together, right?
It
Rain dance.
It was a papyrus paper, whatever this is.
Yeah,
They jumped the broom.
They jumped the broom, but they stick their fingers with pen and
Yep.
blood together. Yeah, they did that kind of shit.
So
Oh,
Lawson,
But
got a
look here,
question.
BMW. I'm gonna say BMU. Second
We're gonna change the title of the show.
Look, in the nation, when a woman get out of line and is in front of a male, the male goes to his lieutenant or captain, and that captain goes to the captain of the female, and then women straighten her out. The MGT straighten her out.
Oh, okay.
So it won't be no slapping on the ass by the male. He would just go to his captain or lieutenant, and then that lieutenant captain go to the ladies captain. They straighten her out.
Oh, okay. So you've seen that happen?
Oh, most certainly. It happens like that all the time. The disciplinary this is why I always say men institute the training for men, and the women institute the training for women. But that all comes together under the guidance of one male leadership. So when we're studying, they studying over there, and when they studying, we studying over there, over here. Then we come together on Friday and do the study guide, and we get in a circle. And then Sunday, you see what we do. The ladies sit over there, and the men sit over there, because we don't want no men's looking at, no FYI looking at so sisters' thighs, and stuff like that. We want them to focus on the message and the training. And
so Lost in Translation got something he want to say, but real quick before he says that, when I went to Washington for the second March on Washington, right? So when I went there for that, who are the young ladies who are also dressed militant? Who are those women? What are they called?
MGT, but they are MGT too, but they are the security of the MGT.
Right. Okay.
That's the one you see with the caps.
Yep,
and the white uniforms, and sometimes they will have blue, but they always have caps.
Yep.
Like anytime a woman is on security duty, she always has to wear a cap. She's covered all the way anyway.
And no disrespect to the nation, but I'm telling you, boy, some of them girls and that some fine women, boy. Listen to me.
With no makeup on.
Some fine women, boy. Oh my God. I was looking. How many years ago was the last
coming in that door and taking all that shit off? That's why I say is under the right leadership, women will do exactly what you want them to do without shaming them. Under the right leadership. Hell, under the wrong leadership, pimps can get their women to do what the hell they want to. Why wouldn't a man of God be able to get his woman to do what he wanted to do? It's just two of the opposite.
Right. Go ahead, Lost in Translation. I don't want to forget. I want you to miss what you was about to say.
I think Jay Speed he answered the question, because if we look at it, man, from the conversations that we have, I think it was who was that who said that the women don't grow past 14 years old. What's her name, man?
It sound like dirty folks, but
I think we're talking about Shiraz Ali, but
Shiraz Ali said that.
Okay.
So my whole thing is this: the leaders of the tribe are the women now. They don't want to be married. You can tell by their behaviors, man. They pinning kids on dudes and sending folks to court and all type of foolishness. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And my whole thing is this: those are the ones that Jeff said you got to warm up the French fry grease for. You know what I'm saying? They got to go.
What is Trump doing? What
exactly.
is Trump doing?
Warming up the French fry grease,
bro. How does this work? How does this work? That because it's only or how does parts of this not work? Where whatever is next, brothers, whatever causes collapse of the dollar, or pick, catastrophe, whatever. How does it not work that the strong brothers don't find themselves and that they understand what's at stake, why they have to be strong, and how they will not allow weakness around them, but they're going to be fair? Dudes like that, a fair, strong nation.
Here's a problem with that. Here's a problem with that. Because if you translate that to family in Black culture, that's not like real. Like Black culture ain't really natural law. So like you're right, all the strong will come together, right? Like when I give you a
They
perfect
don't have
example.
a choice.
I give you a perfect example. During the Summer of Love 2020, when they were burning up Chicago, right? Me and the guys, we came together like, look, I don't care what they doing downtown. I don't care what they doing to the stores. They not coming on this block. I'm gonna protect the flank. We're gonna protect our homes on this block. And we had a coalition of the strongest guys in our little area. Like, look, they're not coming on over here. Here's the problem with that. All the married guys had wives like, oh, why you dealing with them? Because there's a nobody wants to talk about this, but Black women date down intentionally. That's why I talk about girls got 2 master's degrees and they deal with a felon. They date down intentionally. So when you start talking about it comes from one rule leadership, which I agree with, that's hierarchy. They're anti-hierarchy. So what they'll do is they'll date men who will fight you. They'll get men who love them to throw away their life to defend their feelings. So tribalism can only start when it's only men and you bring the girls in. You guys want to do it by color. You want to do it by association, but like guys and girls, egalitarian, we can all work together. Girls can't think. They shouldn't be at the table because they can't enforce anything and they're not going to pay for anything. So why they there? So you're in a circumstance where you guys are fighting for love instead of fighting for tribe. And that's why you guys are having 2 different conversations. I understand both conversations, but they 2 totally different conversations. Whether I will fight for my girl, or whether I will fight for everybody who look like me is 2 totally different conversations. Because the root word of family is familiar. Just because I'm familiar with you, a lot of people I'm familiar with that I ain't gonna fight for. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same combo. But I agree. Even when you talk about the Nation of Islam, logo, pledge, creed, special handshake, right? You know when you see that crescent moon, you know that's the Masons coming by identification. So that logo lets you know everything that they're about. So it's up to the men, because women gonna switch religions all the time. Girls gonna go from Christian to Muslim, Muslim to Hebrew Israelite. Then they gonna start doing chakras and call themselves voodoo. Girls gonna flip every time they have a new baby. They gonna flip religion. You can't count on them. The Muslims count on the men that they recruit from the streets, from the prisons, wherever they at. Give them a set of rules and say, yo, this is a reward and a discipline system, and we're gonna keep it moving regardless who else in these seats. These men are gonna be in these seats, and that's why they have the dexterity to do what they do, because they're not concerned about the girls
at all.
Let me ask you this, J Speed. And Dirty Folks mentioned something about reward. What do you guys do with guys who are the strongest in your community or your tribe? Do you make sure that those guys have wives?
This has done. Just like anything else in life, we even though we're coming from the dead to awaken ourselves of knowledge of self, there's a point that you have the food chain, right? So we got a special guy, right? Well, we got to find out what makes him special. Is he's a special orator? Is he a special military type guy? Can he fight? And so what we do, we get them young guys who can spit, get for gab. Oh, you going straight into ministry. You going to ministry school, right? And we come in a guy that he from the time he wanted to come in there, he want to fight everybody. Oh, okay, we're gonna put you on the Steve Muhammad. BKF. You see what I'm saying? And then we got a guy who comes in, and even the men and the women are watching him. Oh, we're going to put you into leadership school. Now you're going to become a lieutenant, squad leader. You see what I'm saying? So we identify the talent of the guys coming in. Now think about it. I just explained to you how we identify. How you think the women are identifying? We don't have to make no special session. No women are looking because women like power. They are drawn to power. And it could, and the thing about it, we limit ourselves so much in this world that we live in, what power really is. If you're a hell of a plumber, you got power. Ask some of them plumbers when they go up in them houses, how many of them babies look like them. You see what I'm saying? Women like men who can produce things in their head and articulate it with their hands.
Alchemists.
There's no be no greater act than that.
I don't agree at all.
Well, I got that.
I agree with the first part, right? I agree that men
I got
identify your skill set and they put you in a particular place you're supposed to be. I agree that there's natural born leaders. I agree that there's people so cool, and I'm one of them guys that I never pay to get in anywhere. They be like, I'd be like, man, tell him I'm at the door. I VIP him. I don't feel like he in his mouth, right? There are a particular group of people who are I want to say men's men, but who are you know, whatever you want to call them, right?
That dude.
That dude. Yeah. What don't you agree with?
We know that dude when we see him.
Right. But here's the thing. Girls will sleep with that dude, but they're not going to go under the leadership of that dude. Because that dude has requirements. That dude has a system of structure. That dude is like, the dude keeps them away from certain things. I call women toddlers all the time, but the whole thing that our Payne said that was powerful was, if I have a problem with you, if I have a problem with a woman, I'm gonna talk to her man. That's what you do with children. When the kid act up, you look at the parent. When the girl act up, you look at the man. So when a man makes a decision and everybody else is like, well, they grown, not really. When men run it, then men have to enforce it. And black men are horrible at enforcing things. Horrible.
Speak for yourself.
No, I mean, generally speaking, right? Like
when you folks might be on to something.
When you into it with a girl and she go get her brother coming to fight you off of what she said. You ain't even do nothing to her. You just hurt her feelings because she's stupid. And brother, I have a friend, true story. I used to fight that boy every summer. Every summer we fought from the age of 13 to 17. Every summer. Over his sister, I never had beef with dude. Over his sister every summer. We 35 years old. He FaceTime me on Facebook like, man, I just called to let you know, bro. I apologize. I never had beef with you. My mama was making me fight for my sister, and I'm out here. I'm a send off. I got sent off by the two women in my family. 70% of people in jail, according to my man at the county, is in there with a woman. Like, men will try to discipline other men for a woman's feelings, but won't discipline the woman to mitigate the circumstances to make confrontation not valid. So because they know that, they're not going to be with the strong. They're going to sleep with the strongest man. He going to get some. They're going to cheat on her husband with the strongest man. But they're not going to be with the strongest man because he has rules.
So I'm going to go back to what Lost was saying and J Speed. When somebody said a few minutes ago that now, it was our Payne that says that the women of today, they will not at all adhere to any type of tribe, anything. And so I want to show y'all this video that I ran across today of two women, all of you know, and they were talking about why they're not getting married because of the power they possess. They didn't want to give their power away. And so I want y'all to watch this and we'll talk about it after. Here you go.
Well, I didn't marry because I knew that I would not be able to have the life that I had dreamed if I married. I didn't marry because I've been partnered with Stedman since 1785, and he is a wonderful man, but he is also a traditional man who had his own ideas about what being a wife was. And the moment what I realized, and this is what you all to know for yourself, I wanted to feel worthy enough to be asked. And the day he asked me, I started to feel like, oh God, what does it really mean to be married? That's when I started to ask the questions about what that really meant.
I am choicefully single, happily, gloriously single.
Amen.
And I do wish there were more examples. So many people ask the question, have you ever thought about having children? Like, I mean, my child gave my life meaning. I'm like, are you saying my life is not meaningful?
Yeah.
And because of the structure that we live in, it is so easy for me to feel undermined with all the accomplishment that I've had. And my accomplishments, I don't mean the Whopper stuff. I mean, like, I take the garbage out before it stinks. Like, I eat food that's good for me. I get my sleep. I show up for my friends. And that makes a life very meaningful. And somehow the rug gets pulled out so quickly when people put me in the, you should be married. Why aren't you married yet? Like, what's wrong with you?
Can we start with Oprah real quick?
Yeah. Oprah, you can
Before
start.
we get started, can we turn the French fry grease up to 350 right quick?
Yeah. Go ahead, Arpane.
Yeah, I mean, she just epitomized what I said. You know, she might love Stedman and all that, but she couldn't live under his. She couldn't be married under any other condition but her own.
Yep,
that's fair. And you know what? He's still with her because he asked her, and that's all she wanted. But the truth of the matter is, the reality hit her when he asked, because that's the order of things. When a man asks a woman to marry him, it has to be based on his conditions. Oh, you know, my wife married me based on the conditions I set, right? And listen, and they were favorable to her, right? They obviously were, but it was no way I was going to marry a woman and say, listen, I'll marry you if A, B, C, D, you do all these things. Fuck you. I'm the one going to sacrifice my whole life for you. You know what I'm saying? So you marry me, it's going to be my condition. So Oprah couldn't do it. Now, Ellis Ross, I believe she's lying. Ellis Ross is lying because, you know, I mean, she might be happy in her own little bubble, but the truth of the fact and the matter is the fact that other people can still get to her based on what they say to her means that she knows that the bubble was in front of her and she let it pop. Because even her mother, you know, as crazy or whatever she was as successful, she had a whole bunch of children. Her mom, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, so Ellis Ross is going to be there. And when she gets older, she's going to make some phone calls and nobody's going to answer.
Yep.
Hey, let me say,
you know,
this.
so I don't know. Go ahead.
JSP, what do you think about the video, JSP?
Major Pain, you did good. All right. So, but
Major Pain and BMW. That's funny.
You did good. You did that very eloquent. But I want y'all, what you just look at, I want you to look at it in a different way.
Okay.
I think we've been looking at this tunnel vision. And I know BMU is a Bible man and Bible thumper when he wants to be. All right. This is the poster child of you conquered the world, but you gave up your soul.
Ooh, boy, let me throw something at this nigga.
Did you hear what I said?
Boy.
And we ain't looking at it in that way.
Yeah, man.
But we see it in men. We see when men do it, but we just ain't used to seeing it when women do it. It's the same bullshit. Oh. See, this is the greatest power of the devil to make you believe he don't exist. And they are worthy to be on this earth because they're going to become examples. And me as a brother who had 18 siblings and 11 sisters, I seen my sisters tell men the same shit, and then they cry all night long about some bullshit not feeling worthy. So they can't pull that bullshit on me because I know a lot of their behaviors of them trying to be like me, they're going to have to pay the cost of the bullshit that I do. That's why women who go in certain profession, they lose hair and their hairline recede just like men. They heart attack. The statistics of heart attacks goes up. So
they lose their eyebrows.
Right. Let's look back and look at this for what it really is. All right. I think some of your brothers, you need to go back and look at Dr. Khalid. He covers all this, and that's who I did this morning. He covers all this shit. And so when I see them women saying stuff like that, I understand what they say in public. But when you see them early in the morning, they got whelps under their eyes because they've been crying all night. Because they're trying to live an image. It's not the natural order of things. And it's beating the shit out of them.
Say that again, man. Let that rest. The natural order of things. That's exactly what I mean. I mean, that's so outside of the natural order of things that they don't have no frame of reference on life anymore.
And how many women are they influencing?
That was what I was about to say. BMW. When it comes down to it, when it comes down to who are they speaking to, who are they influencing, right? Yep. This is where it comes down. It's funny because having this conversation and even listening to OG when Dirty Folks came with the with the whole thing with the GDs and stuff like that. One thing we can't agree on, and Jeff, is that it is ran infrastructurally through tribal. Mm-hmm. It is. And when it's not done, because what's happening right now, we ain't got to look in and say when the shit has already hit the fan.
Oh
right?
yeah, bro.
So what we're seeing right now is I've never in my lifetime ever seen this many homeless women. I've never seen this many women deleting children. Not only are they to the point where they're deleting their own children, they're deleting other women's children. I know you guys heard that story of the woman that had the girls had set her up by giving her a baby shower.
Baby shower. Yeah.
And beat her up. There's another one that they had where a woman took a woman's baby and slammed the baby into a wall, killing the baby. It's so much of this going on. I just seen a video where this girl got jumped on by a bunch of girls and her kids was in the car with her. All of these things are happening and I'm looking like, wow. So they're out of order. But hearing what I'm hearing, there's no way that you're not going to have people fall into whatever infrastructure, whether it's gang or the fruit of Islam. It's going to happen. It's happening right now. But what happens is with men, when they're smart, they start to rigor themselves, right? They start to, the ones that don't have the wherewithal, they've been living a life that's been keeping them messed up, right? Because they lack morals. They lack confidence and all these things that takes for us to build as men. And then they fall into line when you start having FYI. They start falling in line, even if it goes down to them being in a neighborhood. And if that gang is right there, they're going to fall in line to be with them. Even no matter how bad it is, they still have some type of structure, right? Mm-hmm. Now imagine if we had, because they gave us a couple, I don't know if you guys remember that blackout we had. United States had it. It was a blackout that we had. I know in Michigan what happened. You didn't have no gas, and it was for a couple of weeks. You didn't have the grocery stores because there was no lights. There was no electricity. This was like early 2000s. Early 2000s. And when you had, and people were getting their house, now in Detroit, people were getting their houses broken into. People was getting assaulted and all these different things. At that time, I stayed in the suburbs. Let me tell you what everybody on my block had, including me and my family. We had 2 generators. We had food, pantry full of food. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time I ever heard of a bug out bag. That was the first time I ever heard. But when you went in the inner city in Detroit, it was all mayhem. You had people dying because they was trying to siphon gas out of their own cars to put in generators. And they were dying. trying to do that. Like, fool, you didn't know that once you put that hose in there, you
How you do it, JT?
yeah.
How you hold it?
Nope. You had one time. That was it. You ain't got that no more. You had a lot. So now
you ever get gas in your mouth?
If it happens again, it don't take 48 hours, bro. Mayhem.
Bruh.
Mayhem. That's what we looking at. And it is gonna be even worse now. I have never seen this many homeless women ever in the United States. This is crazy right now. You got people being arrested because you're not supposed to live in the storage little units that they living in.
Yeah.
They living in storage units.
Yeah.
Now they're not
storage units.
Yeah. All kind of stuff. They got these cars that they can't afford. Now the craziest part was a lot of these women, they just showed another video of this woman getting her car repossessed. And that was what she was living in. But she couldn't afford to, and she got the car repossessed. And she had 3 kids with her. So yeah, this is what we get into when it comes down to it. We can argue what we argue, but we're arguing it for a reason, right? But you won't have women listening to what we're saying. The overarching issues that we have, it's going to be up to us, right? That's my only point. It's going to be up to us. Care what nobody say. And Dirty Folks is on something when he say, "No, I ain't listening to that shit," because they're going to go wherever the wind blows stronger. We already understand that. And us being the way that we've been, I'm talking about black men in America. I don't care nothing about the other men. They suck too. If you are with that woman up under her conditions, you just did yourself and her a disservice.
Now, JT, pause. All right. Because you just said something that fired this up. Now we talk about the women who are never going to get it together, right? They're going to be out. They're going to be looking for men to help them. Now I will say this. I don't have the video. I tried to find it, but there was a lady today who got mad at her husband. They've been married for 30 days. She got mad because he hadn't added her to his insurance. She said, "Why do you think I married you?" He said, "Y'all hear this shit? We've been married 30 days." And she only wanted to get on his insurance, her and her kids, so they could have insurance. And that's why she married him. But anyway, this video right here, this lady right here is getting a lot of strife. And if y'all find this video on social media, look at the comments. These are the type of women that will be in the tribe that will listen. And I wanted to give her some kudos tonight. Here she is.
Has given men a capacity and a responsibility. God has given men a capacity and a responsibility that women do not have, and we have to be honest about it. We can say he's not a man, he doesn't know how to lead, he doesn't whatever. There's still a capacity inside of him that God did not give us as women. And one of the biggest examples that I can give of that, imagine it's raining and you're in New York City. And if you've ever been to New York City or in France and it starts raining and people start selling umbrellas on the street, those $5, $10 umbrellas, they're not worth much, but they get the job done until you get home. Imagine you have that man. You have the man that gets the job done, isn't anything special, but he gets the job done. That man, no matter how little you view him, is made to handle the rain. You were not made to handle the rain, but you were made to hold up that which can handle the rain. If you didn't have that umbrella, you would come back home smelling like what poured on you. When a man comes back in as that umbrella, he gets dried quickly, water repellent, it falls off of him, and no matter how equipped you thought he was, he still was built for the rain. The difference also, some of you want that Neiman Marcus umbrella. Some of you want the wood handle. Those things are heavy. And if God gave you a man like that, then you have to be the woman that can hold up that man. Because an umbrella that is not used, it can be for the rain, for the sun. It shields. It provides shade. It allows what's under it not to be touched. We are the vessel, not weaker. We are the vessel that was meant to let the one that God gave us be held up and used for what he was made. So now, as a wife, I want to say, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to sunburn. My skin's not built for that. So instead, I'm going to let the man be who he was meant to be. And if God gave me, which he did, my man's about as heavy as this table. That means God made me capable of holding him up. If my man is not doing what he was made to do, it's because I, as his wife, am not holding him up.
Okay.
Uncle Jeff?
Yeah, I think what we've been doing for the past 10, 15 minutes is basically reverse engineering my favorite Bible verse.
Isaiah.
Come on, brother. Come on. How long it gonna be?
I knew it.
You tell me JT did not just describe the precursor to Isaiah 4.
Oh, yeah.
If that ain't, I don't see how it can get any closer. So these
So
women,
you agree with her?
What? That, oh, brother, absolutely. And not only do I agree with her, but these women you talk about that don't listen and won't do this, this who they competing against. Where Jay Speed at? There wasn't not. There was, yeah, brother Jay.
I'm right here.
Did you see the video, Jay?
Yeah, I see. I'm here all the time. Just when I hit mine.
Question, brother Jay.
Yes, sir.
The mosque that you're active at, would you say the women in mindset, in concept, not perfect, but in concept, more resemble the woman we just saw, or Oprah?
Oprah, right.
They're more resemblance of the woman we just saw. And even the ones who come in there like Oprah, they don't leave like Oprah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Now, that is, and again, I say, with what we all see coming, I got my money on the Native Americans, the Amish, the nation, and those of us who are not in the nation that are like-minded that can make tribes. Everything else is in the French fry grease. That the what Oprah gave and what Tracy Ellis Ross gave was fantastic advice for other extremely rich women. They're extremely, when the shit hits the fan, they are going to be miles up the hill.
Right.
If there's a plan to leave Earth for Mars and only a few people are going, Oprah's fat ass is on that plane.
No doubt.
So she giving y'all, that's like her saying, that's Oprah saying that to women is the same as me telling y'all this after I hit Powerball. Yeah, man.
Money ain't important.
Nigga. Yeah, that's number 2. That's yeah. I can only drive a Bentley now. Now that I drive a Bentley, I can only drive a Bentley. And I strongly suggest that because they're so safe, you put your children in it. Because if you can't put your children in it, maybe isn't there something wrong with you? Well, you right. If all of y'all got $200 million, nigga.
Let me piggyback off of Jeff, let me just piggyback off of
I saw you, R-Pain, talking about R-Pain was agreeing with her.
Yeah, I was agreeing with her big time. Listen, one of the things that I know, I'm part of the boule and shit, but back in my day, when I had to pledge in the frat, we had sweethearts. We had, we call them QSs. It's been 40 years since I've been in the frat. Do you know those women still gravitate around us like we were in college? Because not only did we pledge as men, we had these sweethearts that we said, here's some conditions for you to be sweethearts to our fraternity. And so even though we put people in leadership, we said, this is what we need you to do for the women. But we still were in control of what the women did for the women. But the way they were dedicated to us, I mean, I'm not talking anything sexual. I mean, these ladies carried us through everything. And we still have connections to all of those ladies. I mean, it's 40, they got husbands, they got families, but anytime we want to get together, they want to be there. That kind of thing. There's women like that out there. And that was lost somewhere under here. Because, like I said before, women like to follow men who lead. Now, I'm not saying I'm not disparaging men of today because I think sometimes we have lost our way. But if we move, when we move, we don't have to worry about the ladies because when we turn around, we might be surprised, but there'll be a slew of them behind us. Because, like I said, they just can't let us go on our own. And so, even though they have their own foibles, and we shouldn't take responsibility of the fact that they're wayward. I'm not going to tell men to take responsibility for that. But because all I'm just saying is we got to move forward. I like the ideas of what Jeff is saying and what we're talking about here because the world is changing. Something has to come out of this bullshit that's going on. I'm married, but I look at my two daughters and I feel a little bit sorry for them because the pool that they're dealing with is the same shit we talk about all the time. I can't save them from that. So it's a little bit of frustration. Huh?
How old are they?
One's 25, the other one is 32.
Okay.
Well, she's taking care. She's got somebody she's with, but still.
This is how it's gonna come down, bruh.
Go ahead.
This is real talk. This is how it's gonna come down. Whoever here got single males slightly older in her family, if we were in their family, if we were a tribe, we gonna all start certifying the niggas in our tribe. Okay, Anthony, you finished, you right before the shit hit the fan, you got your plumber's license, you got your shit together, you got a way to make of yourself. You ain't a goddamn fool, bruh. You deserve a wife. You got your fucking head on straight. Valerie is fine. All I'm gonna do is suggest that J Speed's niece Valerie, who if dude's ranked 32, if she about 26, 27, Jay, we're gonna put them out. We're gonna put them out in the pasture and let them come back, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I tried
because we got certified men in here.
Yeah, I tried.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, Dirty Folks said he tried that.
No, I tried that. I went to my Masonic brother.
So Dirty Folks, hold on before you go into your story. What do you think about the video?
Everything she said was true, even though she had clothes on. But here's my issue when black women speak, or when anybody speak. They always talk about what men do. There is no woman teaching women how to be women. There's no woman like, you know what? You need to. They got that little song, I cook, I clean, I shut up. Like, teach that. When the whole Oprah, Tracy, she lying. Every 6 months she go from I want to be married to I like being single. She just, whoever she next to, that's that conversation, right? Next to Oprah, she independent. Next to
that's D-Ray, right?
That's who?
D-Ray.
That's D-Ray, girl.
Back in the day.
Hey, shout out to D-Ray, man. D-Ray showed me a lot of love on my first
D-Ray probably used to have that thing.
Hey, D-Ray walking around with girls on a leash. Chi-Town.
Bruh. D-Ray, and I'll shut up. D-Ray, Neo, what's your man name? Wilding Out, Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Bullshit if you want to. That's the future. Or Isaiah 4 is wrong again.
You know what? But here's the thing. When I first got on YouTube 2 years ago, right? I said men are awesome, and my whole chat went crazy, right? They were like, men are awesome. I'm like, nobody told you awesome. You do everything except have the baby. Like, girls really don't do nothing. You have to fix everything. You pay for most of the stuff. You have to be the leader. You have to be the one that is the moral compass. While she being all emotional, you got to be stoic. I'm like, bro, even in sex, you do all the work while she lay there like a starfish. Like, everything about a relationship is you. Everything is you, and nobody told you awesome. Like, when you start talking about black culture, and to J Speed credit, right? Talk about the nation put people where they need to be, and it was a perfect situation, right? You violent, you on security, you talk a lot, we put you as a minister, right? You a smooth dude, leadership. That's perfect. However, in black culture, everybody identifies those people, but nobody like the smart kid. The Jews got to come get your 12-year-old smart kid and put them somewhere else. There's no system for that. And you're raised by a bunch of men who will sacrifice or a bunch of adults, men and women, who will sacrifice their sons for whatever girl. I went through that. I had an argument with my dad. I'm 18 years old. I had an argument with my dad. I came home with a girl that I met at an open mic. I had to put soap and water on her, buy a little outfit from Rainbow, a pair of shoes from Cernus. You know what I'm saying? I paid $30 to dress that girl. No man had my homegirl do her hair when bundles was $1 a piece. You can get 5 bundles for $5. I done invested $30. I done built the girl. Talking 1990s, right? I bring her home to my parents. My dad looks at the girl, and she was bad, but she needed soap and water. You know, she was a hidden gem. And my dad looked at her and said, "My son lucky to be with you." And I said, "How am I lucky to be with her? She done cost me since I met her. She lucky to be with me. It's my car. It's my money. I got to connect. Like, she just here." The mentality of black men worshiping women, they really do think women is God. Big Mama. The whole idea of Big Mama is crazy to me. Because think about this. Think about you being an 18-year-old young man with no money, but you love a girl. And you say, "You know what? I'm going to be with this girl." And you take your 18-year-old self to the service and you give them 3-4 years of your life. Then you come back and get a job at a factory. Now you're 22 years old and you work in that factory and you knock her up, and then you knock her up again. Then you knock her up again. And now you spend 20 years at this factory plus the 4 years in the service, 24 years of your life to pay this mortgage, because you put a little extra on a 30-year mortgage to pay this mortgage. Then you leave your job with the gold watch, but you still don't want to be at home. So you end up being one of them 50-year-old dudes that check the receipts at Walmart or something because you already got your pension coming in from the service and from your old job. You just want to do something. And you buy his or her Oldsmobiles. I don't know why it's always Oldsmobiles, but it's always a Buick or Oldsmobile. Twin LeSabres, right? Your kids have kids. Your grandkids come through and say, "We going to Big Mama house." Big Mama ain't did nothing but laid on her back for the 30 years I've been here. Just the way that black people see things, they mitigate the men in their family. Men don't get their flowers till they die. But men are so awesome that nothing moves without it. These girls been homeless, but you know what they've been doing? Finding a man. Couldn't none of these girls take care of themselves ever. That's why they found a man. Then they got mad because they had to listen to a man and be like, "I wish I was independent." But you couldn't be independent because you needed a man. Oprah needed a man. Stedman put Oprah on. Stedman found that little fat girl in some little bootleg TV station in Tennessee and say, "Shorty, come to Chicago, I got you." I met Stedman. Stedman's a very stoic man. Tall, skinny, very stoic man. When me and my best friend met him and we were young and we like, "Hey, Stedman." And stoic, shook our hand.
Cool,
smooth dude, bro. Smooth. Any woman would be lucky to be with him. Pause. You know what I mean? He everything that now y'all talking about 666. I don't know about the other six. I don't know that man like that. But
with his clothes on, he check all the boxes.
All the boxes. Lawyer, up millies, tall, handsome in his day, slim. He every box. Oprah, I remember Oprah begging for years, "Stedman won't marry me. Stedman won't marry me." He finally said, "Damn, Gina, I'll marry you." Oh, I don't know if I want to get married now. What?
You happy?
She was on the show begging.
Bringing him on the show, begging. "Why don't you marry me?" Like, "You don't want kids, I want a family." I got a career. Oprah.
We need to find. I'm gonna look for that right now.
You know what I'm talking about. You know I ain't lying.
I know exactly what you, bruh. It was an Oprah episode. I felt like he was ambushed down there.
Yeah, Fat Oprah, before she got the celebrities, when she just had the white girls in the stands. Fat Oprah was begging.
Sophia Oprah. Yeah.
Sophia Oprah.
If she'd have had a baby.
And he was getting ready to make the biggest mistake in his life. At least, if you got to pull a woman in like that, you're making a mistake.
Stedman knew exactly what he was doing.
Stedman is.
So he challenged her, and she challenged because I guess he knew what the answer was going to be, right?
But it's interesting. It's interesting that Black Man had pulled that video up, and you had all those women cheering those two women, talking about their independence and being what they quote unquote, successful, right? But somebody just brought up the other brothers, Neo, Nick Cannon, and D-Ray, and a host of other brothers. They're not being championed. In fact, these guys are looked at as the demons. It's interesting that you can pull that one up, but then when you're talking about guys that's saying, listen, this is how I run it, right? Because you got the women saying they're champion women, not I don't want to get married because I got to get the bag. I don't want to get married because it's taken away from me. All these different things, they're being championed. When the men are saying, I mean, I'm just still the same dude that I am. I just got a rotation of women now, right?
JT,
and I got them to follow up under what I do, but they're looking at as the villains.
JT, let me help you out, man. I'm gonna tell you what you actually looking at. What people put on TV is not what's really happening. You know what I mean? Think about it. These women that say that they're happy being single, but I assure you, somebody somewhere is tapping that ass. I assure you that. It's like women used to get told all the time, don't let no man sleep with you. Why buy the cow when you can get a little milk? But the women have said, why buy the hog when you can get a little sausage on the side? They'll sit up there and they'll tell you all this business about how they enjoy being single, but they're not telling you that there's a group of guys out there that's servicing their needs, they're scratching their itch late in the midnight hour. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they're selling these women the same thing, but you know what? The women that they're listening to ain't stupid. They know exactly what they're saying. They're just not saying it out loud. Women got a different code that if you got your ears tuned in right, you'll be able to hear it. Just like guys, when we talk, when we say certain things, we already know what we're talking about. We ain't got to say it out loud. That's what they're looking at, and they're championing that foolishness. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Beans.
You know what? Can I piggyback off that real quick, Loss? What you described as a love for domestic terrorism. Right. So when you talk about tribe, and all the time we've been talking about tribe and we've been talking about systems and hierarchy, and hierarchy has discipline baked in the cake, right? Even when you guys talk about the NOI or the military or frats, I'm an alpha and a Mason. You know what we had to do? Send a man with the Eastern Stars. We can't leave these toddlers unsupervised. There's always a man to keep everything in tune. Women might be the face of women's stuff, as they should, because it's women's stuff, but it's a man who made that whole thing happen. Women really don't create on their own. So tribalism is only men, and then the family come later. The whole thing. What was Shorty name? The twin from Sister.
You talking
Tia?
about
Tia Mowry?
Women champion her divorcing her husband for nothing. For nothing. And the flip side is his life was better without her. His income went up exponentially. He went from being worth $1 million to being worth $7 million in like 6 months. You know, man, his life was, he came out with a cold snow buddy while she talking about, ain't no good men out here. I ain't dating in a while. Ain't no men worth my swag. He out here with a cold snow bunny.
And she made a show of it too. Put it on national TV.
And women championed it.
You know they back together.
Exactly.
Who else want her? I mean, they've been together.
I think is that a rumor? I think that's a rumor. Though.
Who knows, man? Let's get Beans in here, man. Beans, what's happening, man?
What's up,
Welcome to the
Beans?
show, brother.
What's going on? My man JT up in this thing.
What it do? What it do?
Looking like he used to pin holes. And all right. My man lost the translation in here, looking like he could quote the Fatiha right now in Arabic if he wanted to. Uncle Jeff, I see you, ugly ass boy. My man Arcane in here on the motherfucker. I'm 4 minutes away from my wheel being put into effect, looking at boy. My man Post up in here. What's happening with you? I see you popping up. You losing weight too. You gonna stop talking tough to us, OG. We'll beat your ass now. We'll beat your ass now, OG. You're a little bit too light up in the neck area right now.
You muted, OG.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, he still got a gun. He still got a gun.
Trying to swing them motherfuckers too. Them slow ass. No, but salute to y'all, man. It's good to see y'all. Shout out to my man BMU. BMU, you forgave me yet? Come on, man. Damn. You got too much history.
You know it's in here.
I know, right? He saw me come up. He was like, "Fuck this nigga." I'm not.
Beans, what's happening, man? I know you've been watching the show, man. What's your thoughts, man, so far?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't been watching the show. What happened? What happened was I seen y'all was live. I tapped in. I do what I usually do when I see brothers live. I hit the stars. I hit the like. Make sure I'm contributing to the algorithm. And I was on another panel, and then it kind of got goofy, so I had to get out of there. But I was just listening to what y'all was just saying now. In all honesty, man, the thing that's on my mind right now is the YouTube suppression. As long as y'all been doing this, and as much as I hear them talk about how the older people and what is it, Social Security. I know not like, man, y'all might not be in the Social Security age yet, but I'm just saying we had something to say. And I'm listening to y'all talking. I'm like, man, bro, it's like, it's so crazy that they not gonna hear it if you ain't sitting there with the rollie on, if you ain't sitting there with the jewels and the diamonds and this and that. It is much work as I don't think nobody in this space has put more work in than BMU outside of Anton Daniels from AntonDaniels.com. Them two guys is equal as it pertains to work. And yeah, we see the difference between his numbers and these. And I think it's a sort of suppression that comes along with that. But I just want to say salute to you guys. It's the things that you have been saying tonight. I don't have anything necessarily to disagree with, except for Dirty Folks. But he provocative intentionally. He know what he be doing.
I'm not. I've been like this my whole life, man.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say that Stedman put Oprah on. Like, that's a crazy claim. But shout out to Stedman for reaping the benefits of that relationship. And that's how I see it. I mean, but you might know some shit I don't know. So it is what it is. My whole point is this, man. I just want to say this because I'm almost there. I'm 47. I feel like I'm like mentally, I feel like I'm like 17, but physically I feel like I'm 62. This arthritis kicking my ass, But I realize just how much importance should be laid upon the voices of men like yourself, who not only have the experience but the wisdom to go along with the experience, because not everybody has that, right? And you can hear it when you're talking. And I just wish that it was appreciated more. And I would love to hit YouTube one day and it showed me BMU is live and BMU got 200, 300, 400 people watching. Because I think you all are giving way more sound advice that can be prudent for our people. And so I just wish blessings and success on every brother on this panel and my man BMU. And I just thank y'all for being the consistent voices that y'all have been in this space for so long.
Let me ask you a question. Why can't Stedman put Oprah on? I've been put on.
Well, because I believe the white man put Oprah on. I don't think, but Stedman could be some sort of figure behind the scenes that I don't know a lot about.
No, the white man took it to that next level, but to get our foot in the door, Stedman got our foot in the door.
I mean, it may be true. It may be true. I may be working with a lack of information, so forgive me if I have some sort of ignorance there.
But besides beauty salons, name something women do that a man didn't put her on. Besides beauty salons, every girl that talk about they do real estate, it's a dude that put her on. Every girl sell T-shirts, it's a dude that put her on. Name something women do besides hair that men didn't put her on. Why is that hard to
hair though, right? Like, because a lot of times we know The reason why a lot of women faced the criticism that they did coming through the 80s and the 90s is because a lot of those businesses that they were started were supported by the drug money.
Drug dealers put them on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean,
when she talk about she independent, she don't need no man. I got my own shop. I make my own money. Somebody put her on.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I'm gonna tell you something. If it was a woman up here espousing that right now, I'd probably be all in on you. I'll be all in with you, you know. But right now, it's just, man, I'm telling you, like I've heard some things sliding past this panel, not saying nothing in the chat, hitting the like button and just getting out of there. But I've dropped through and just heard some things that I was like, yo, it's a freaking shame that it's not 300, 400, 500 people. Like, it would have been so great if 300, 400, 500 people, and then I could clip it myself, but then I got 14 people watching too, you know? So it's just like really, that's the thing to me right now that's on my mind is like, Uncle Jeff, as much as me and him done had some run-ins, but it is not lost on me who he is, right? And somehow he ended up in this space with us, right? I don't even believe in God, but that seems sort of divine in nature, for him to be here as the quote-unquote comedian guy, but to end up in here in our space where we carved out over here, right? All of us, me, BMU, JT, Lost in Translation, all of us, Anton, Aaron O, all of us, you know, and for him to end up in this space and bouncing from our channels, but he's bringing in not just the comedy, right? But he's bringing in the wisdom that comes along with something he said that was so prolific. I still have that video on my hard drive right now where he talked about gray hairs. He talked about this is the reason why you shouldn't dye your gray hairs. He'll correct me when I start lying. He said, because that's how the young people know they can trust you. That's how they know they can listen to you. But, you know, we want to be out here. We want to dye everything. We want to act like we still young, right? One of the greatest things Uncle Jeff ever said. I still got that clip on my hard drive to this day, bro. I'm just waiting on the right panel to pull it out and say, hold on, y'all. Here go Uncle Jeff telling y'all.
I'm not going to pay you any money for
that. No, you don't. But I'm just saying, like,
Thank
it's a
you,
bunch
brother.
Man, listen, it's a bunch of dope, great. This is like you all are doing a visual Bible over here. You're giving people things to live by, right? Basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's what y'all doing over here. And it's just kind of sad to me that it isn't appreciated as much as it should be.
Well, bro, let me please.
Hey, Uncle Jay, I want to slide this in.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because what he came in with, it gives you a greater understanding that people not really, the people you're talking about, not really looking for solution. They looking for the illusion of a solution.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Brother, if I could, to co-sign what Beans said, and thank you, bro, to co-sign what he just said. Number one, what we dropping, fellas, as much as we think is for now, bruh, this shit, somebody gonna uncover this shit in 300 years. Here's the spirituality. The spirituality is where we all agree. There are things and tenets that every man that sits here, we can all agree on. You know what the religion is? Well, if you deep over into the metaphysical shit of it, then you have to wear green and white. You have to wear something that signifies weed, because that's who Saint Jeff was 300 years ago. Well, if you really are over into being a powerful warlord, then you are JTite. And now the JTites and the Uncle Jeffs, that's religion. What we are breaking down, and hopefully those of you in the future who read this, who hear this, who see this, please understand that you're going to fuck your harmony up trying to find a way to be disharmonious with the people who agree with our pain and not me, or Beans and not J Speed. We are men bringing you the last of the streetlight wisdom. This is it. After us, it's gone. This is what we doing. So, I thank you for bringing that up, brother. That's why this is so very damn important. But there was something else I want to say. That damn JSP popped in. But yeah, fellas. No worries, man. And as soon as I jump off of here, I'm gonna think of it.
Yeah.
But
I just got a lot of like, man, I get caught up too. I get caught up in the numbers. You know, I'm not, just so I don't have to, you know, point anybody out. I'm not gonna say any names, but I look at the channels and, you know, 200, 300, 400 people watching live, and they dropping links, and you want to hit it, and you want to get up there, and you want to be heard. And it's just amazing to me, though, that a lot of those conversations are rooted in entertainment. And
Why?
then the channel that, you know, not getting all of the numbers is the channel that's really trying to have the more prudent conversations.
Jedi there, Junior. I'm gonna go ahead and call you Junior Jedi, especially to the Jedis on the top here, at least to us. I'm gonna challenge you to grow right here. I need to know why you are astonished that in this time a foolish channel with more foolish entertainment would have more viewers. Now let me tie that to this. By default, we are speaking to less people because everybody ain't gonna make it. It is the time. I'm gonna let you have it in a minute because I gotta bounce. I gotta make Mrs. Brown some popcorn. The time to reason with, to complain about the shit in our society was when Public Enemy came out. If we were serious then, just think if half of us didn't go to jail, half of us didn't sell it, half of us didn't buy it, and half of us didn't use it, and half of us didn't die. Where would we be with those people? Think about where you are now and get half of them people back.
Let me piggyback off that, bro, real quick. Because you asked why this channel doesn't have the buzz of channels with a bunch of relationship talk or whatever.
Yeah.
Since the theme is tribe, say it like this. Tribe ain't black. Tribe is tribe. White ain't white, except the black people. They Irish, Indian, German. I mean Irish. Well, that's
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's a great point. That's a great point you're making.
So when you tribe, you're not black. What happens is that black people will always disagree. It's the person that don't care that make the change move. It's not the person that won't comfort. It's not the person that won't love. It's the person that's like, you know what? Get down and lay down. When you lay down, stay down.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody complain about the leader, but heavy is the head that wear the crown.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily I disagree with all relationship panels because it's a bunch of black dudes trying to tell black women that they should be in relationships and black women just want sex. But when you create tribe, when you create that system, that infrastructure, and you say, yo, this is what we gonna do, this is the way we gonna move. Get down with the click or get found in a ditch. Everybody gonna be mad who ain't getting down with the click.
Mm-hmm.
I got a friend right now. He 49 years old. He older than me. Talking about some, man, I wish I was GD when I was younger. Y'all was organized. Nigga, you pushing 50. It's way too late for that. But at the same time, when we were 17, where Jeff was from, and me and Jeff cool. We cool as a fan now. But we wouldn't have been cool in 1993.
No. Hey, that's outside of my neighborhood.
You know what I mean?
It's right down the street.
I used to deal with this girl, Cara, stayed on 58th and Walcott. Them boys was throwing down the pitchforks all the time. Bro, it was hell to get to the car, bro. So I get it. But they locked down all the way to 59th Street. They stopped on 59th Street, but all the way to 59th Street, that's their turf. And they locked down, they tried.
Okay, yeah. And
what is that, Moles?
Yeah.
Okay, if I may, I swear, guys, because I do have to go. This is where me and JT often bump heads. I'm gonna throw this
You
grenade.
smell that
I'm gonna run.
popcorn, Uncle
I'm
Jeff.
gonna run. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna throw this grenade and run, JT. When we look at gangs, because I deal with so many of them, cats that running around your way, cats that running out here. What we are looking at is a group of men, a group of we're looking at basically an urban Lord of the Flies, where these men, that was the question I was going to ask JT earlier, was the stuff on the radio in the 60s, was it better or worse than now? Of course it's worse than now. So the intent, the Crips, Bloods, Vice Lords, and GDs, are they better now or worse now? Well, absolutely, they're worse now. And I say them in the exact same way because around my way, this wasn't super long ago. This wasn't super long in their existence. In the early to late 70s, bruh, 63rd and Damon, it's it was only bad after a certain hour. It was rough all day. You get your ass whooped all day. But shot and robbed, oh, that's when the sun go down. And the GDs around the way saw to it, dude. Saw to it. Wasn't no women getting their purses snatched around our way or getting robbed on no bus.
Right.
No, but if your son was out here on some bullshit, oh, Miss Turner, how you doing? No, you can't carry that. I'm going to carry it for you. Okay, yeah, where's Kevin? Have you seen Kevin? When you see Kevin, you tell him Mike looking for him. All right? You make sure if you have any problems around here, you talk to me. That way, that nigga know. We know right when your mama get off, we looking for you, nigga. But we ain't finna do nothing to your mama. We ain't finna ride by and spray in your windows because we had a code because we wasn't that far removed from our fathers.
Right. You wouldn't even smoke weed in front of older people.
No.
Like you'll be a dirtbag, but you
stand up straight when Miss Grace come around.
A certain level of respect. So you have to say, man, and I go hard on boomers, and I like Payne. You came a long way this last year. I've been listening to you, bro. I'm proud of you. But boomers have made it that now people are talking about no big homies. Like, man, I ain't listening to the old heads. So everything that my grandfather taught me, the generation of Rebel Without a Cause, my dad and my uncles, they went against their father. But I'm just like they father. My dad tried to insult me like last month, like you just like your granddad. I'm like, that's not an insult. That was my guy.
Thank you.
You know, I'm not listening to a generation of people who think they winners because they got beat up on the bridge. I'm listening to the people that actually won the fight. So the whole dichotomy of you don't have to respect older people because they don't respect you, and they show you all the time that they'll say you down the river all the time. And it's only intelligent to hate who hates you. It's only intelligent.
Wow.
So
I got
Uncle Jeff.
So that kills a familiar archetype too.
Yeah. Could you put the there's another one up. Y'all niggas rather denigrate that one. Yeah, that other thing is obvious. That's toddler shit. Y'all ninjas rather denigrate the black woman and don't give a fuck if they delete her for doing the right thing. It's mostly no, then it's not that one. It's the one before that. It's a BMU. If I could trouble you, it's really worth it. Something. Oh yeah, why y'all niggas not speaking up for the black female judge whose life is being threatened by white people for reducing Carmelo Anthony bail, but y'all ninjas are ignoring it for some reason. Number one, everywhere you breathe when you read this, sister, put some punctuation, a comma, fuck it, a colon, play around, see what you get. But that there should be some punctuation in this. Number two, the reason we're not speaking up about her is because she wasn't the topic of this evening's show. Now, I don't know how many of these brothers were aware that this sister was getting death threats. I wasn't. So maybe, just maybe, the difference between inside the gate and outside the gate with the barbarians, the difference between in here with the protection and out there with the niggas you complain about against whoever, in here with the provision, out there with God bless you all, you and your children, the difference between that is typing this. Hey, brothers, have you ever heard anything about it? What is your opinion on? Respectfully, it's a little heavy for me as a sister because it kind of feels like you coming down on us kind of hard. That is the difference between the side of the gates. And Black and Proud, aka Black Hawk, I am happy when you type this kind of shit because you and women like you are waving and letting us know who to leave on the outside of the fucking gate.
Really?
Okay.
I'll say this real
I know you got to go,
quickly.
Beans, but I got to say something. The
Yeah.
reason why you don't find me on them places that seem like both parties is on some type of cycle period or something against each other. Reason why you don't see me in them spaces no more, Bean, because my message has never been there. I've been the pinata for all these damn channels up in the manosphere and everything else. I want you to know this. My importance of what I try to do, I will rather stand around than be on them channels and try to beat every low fruit that we have on the female side down is just to say I told you so. I'd rather be lifting brothers up with knowledge.
Yeah.
So in the future I can tell him I told you so. See, there's a negative and there's a positive. And so this is why I see the importance of men building men. See, in the Nation of Islam, people think Mr. Farrakhan, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad spend time talking about white people. Go back and look at any of them 3 hours. It's all about building the brothers up. 95% of that tape you go watch for 3 hours is going to be talking about building the brothers up. So that's why I'd rather spend my time talking to brothers saying, I told you so, because now he's wearing that crown and he's in that tribe or he's in that family and he's going. See, when you teach a man, right? When you teach a man, you teach an individual. When you teach a woman, you teach a nation because she becomes the mother of everything in creation.
It's a great point.
And y'all ain't got that yet.
Now they got that. That's why they want you to crash out over a female judge. Look,
let Beans go. Dirty Folks, he's one. He has something he wants to say. Go ahead.
I mean, I was just gonna respond to the comment and just say, you got to understand. Like, I can't speak for everybody, but I would just say for myself, when I first heard about this, of course, it was a lot of negativity around it. I'm one of those people who, even if I know there would be a let's say a deficiency if we didn't have black judges, black cops, black whatever, right? But I just don't like seeing them in those positions. I just don't. And so when I see this, I don't necessarily feel for the sister because she's getting death threats. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't feel anything. I don't feel worry. I don't feel sympathy, empathy. Like, I don't feel anything for her at all. And it may just be because of over time, everything that we've experienced as black people in this country. And then my own personal belief about them holding those positions. So I don't necessarily feel anything for her. But to respond directly to the comment, it's a part of the job. Imagine if I was a firefighter and I complained every day on social media about fighting fires. Like, I came to social media every day, these damn fires, and why I gotta be so hot? Right? Like,
But Bean,
I would sound
she got a
crazy,
call.
right?
Bean, I
You know what?
guarantee
And if that smoke don't get the fuck up out of here.
No, I want y'all to understand that.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Hey, that was a
look,
good analogy right
we're
there.
talking about a judge who went in and listened to a case and said, you know what, $1 million.
It's
Where
too
did that
much.
come from?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
too much.
so she dropped it down to 250,000. I guarantee you, she got a call from the nation. I guarantee you. Soon as threats went out. See, this is why I say many are called, but only few are chosen. Some of us are chosen to do this job, and we'll protect people that, as long as they got this right here, and they need. That puts a statement in our community where we started off this conversation. That person might not be part of my family, but that is part of my tribe, and I'll protect it with my goddamn life.
Wait, OG, but can you answer something for me? Because I don't know this. Is he out?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, he's out.
Oh, they
She
got
let him out.
250?
She let him. She dropped his bail
He got out yesterday.
$250,000, and they gave her threats because she did that.
He got out yesterday.
Was it 250 at 10%?
Yeah, probably.
Well, you know, this is how women.
It was 10%.
It was 250 at 10%?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
listen,
Whoa.
yes.
People get bail reduction every day, B. He'll be all right.
What I'm saying is, the way this thing gets fashioned, it's fashioned on a black and white thing, and they figure, well, she couldn't do her job because she was black, and she only let a black male out because he was black, and this is supposed to be a racial thing. So you know what? You part of the goddamn problem. So I'm saying is, the nation has never backed out. We protected OJ, Michael Jackson, whoever. When you come against the tribe, even though we mean you might have some problem, you go get protection from the nation's gonna protect you. We're gonna let you know. You just can't come in here. Wait a minute, you just can't come in here and start kicking ass and think we're gonna say, hey, wait a minute.
But that's not the argument though, J Speed.
Somebody else.
That's not the argument. Your
Well,
argument is valid.
It might not be the argument, but
No,
I'm trying to say,
your argument is valid.
I'm putting it on right now that you come against anybody in the tribe and you another color, you gonna have a fight on your goddamn hands.
No, I get
that
you.
That is what I'm saying.
Your position is valid. The argument ain't about black. The argument really about women, because nobody cared when they threatened Clarence Thomas. They right there with him. He had cocaine with pubic hair on it. Like, oh, he won't let's get abortions. Everybody should die. Like, they don't care about men, regardless of color. This is about a quote unquote black woman. Emphasis on woman, not on black.
Wait, is he charged with murder one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So he got a $25,000 bond on murder.
No. They add an additional charge, right? Because they're not gonna get him for murder one. So they put in involuntary manslaughter, and then he got a bond reduction. He still got both cases, but they know they're not gonna convict him on murder one.
That's my point. So he's still facing the murder one. So
right,
he got a $25,000 bond on murder one. Nigga,
no priors, and he's home arrest. There's a lot of things.
If I was white, I'd probably be threatening her ass too.
No. What they did is they vacated the bond on the murder one and gave him additional bond on involuntary manslaughter at $250,000. So he got a bond. People get bond reductions every day, bro.
Yeah, but
people go home on recognizance every day.
25,000 on murder one. That sounds crazy, bro.
That's what I was saying earlier, Beans. That's why I was telling them. I was like, we talk about murder one.
Right. That
we talk about murder one.
Sound crazy.
Bro,
hold on a second.
Kim Fox was letting people go off murder twos on house arrest. You know
that's murder, but that's murder two. What he said, man.
On house arrest.
Yes.
On house arrest. It's murder two on house arrest.
Yeah, house arrest makes sense because murder two is what, 10 years, I think. So if you on house arrest, they said you fight the case for 2 years, even if you get convicted. You know what I'm saying? You only about to probably do 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on a second, y'all. Before we move on, I want to address what Jeff just said a minute ago. Before we take this thing down the street. Whoever this person is, self-hatred is a mental illness. Whoever this is, first of all, I'm gonna let you know how we do things around here. Number one, you address us as men. first. And it's yes, sir, over here. Number two, you don't have the right to tell us what to do when you denigrate us every day of the year. This is our platform. You don't get to tell us what to do. You come in here on some respectful shit. That's what you do. That's all I'm saying. As far as whatever was going on with whether or not we should protect this person or whatever, what you need to do is you need to say thank you every day of the year so we'll feel compelled to say something or do something. See, every time y'all get on this internet and y'all show y'all natural black asses getting up, popping and saying whatever the hell you want to say, telling us we not educated, telling us we not worthy, calling us damn broke, coming over to our spaces, talking shit, and then you come up, you want us to do something. That is not how we do it over here. From here on, when you address us, it is yes, sir. And if we have any women on the panel, it's yes, ma'am. We don't play that over. That's let me tell y'all something. That's the problem we have with this space. We turn around and we denigrate the people who are older, who have wisdom, who have something to say to provide, and we have to be quiet for idiots like this. It's time for order. It's time for order. That's the main reason why y'all don't see these numbers what Beans was talking about, because those assholes know they can't come over with that bullshit. When you come over here, you dealing with wisdom. And you know, the killing part about it is normally I would be chill about it. I would be cool about it. You know what I'm saying? But damn it, it has to be said today. And if you have to cut it up and chop it up and screw it, remix it and put some damn tunes behind it, please believe this. We don't play that shit over here.
Facts.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
We don't play that over here.
No, this is what you should have said. We blaming it all on Angry Snowman because he a white man and it's all white supremacy, bro.
Now, listen, I might need to sign up for protecting this judge at this point. I'm just like, bro, I had a 50,000 bond on criminal damage to government property. So
that was a thick glass you kicked.
That's you, bro.
Beans. That was one of the best glasses you could. It was an old courthouse. You kicked that glass out.
But they still gave me 50. They still gave me 50K.
That's what I was asking people, and it wasn't on this panel right here. It was on another panel when I was asking them, and I was telling them, I was like, "Man, we talk about Murder One," and I'm like, I've never heard of anybody on Murder One got anything less than what? Even if it was 250, right? Wouldn't be 10%.
That's still nice. Yeah, that's still decent, but.
That's why I was saying that they would specify that. If you talking about cash bond, man, that's a whole different ball game you talking about.
Yeah, because I know they probably raised
they got 400.
Well, yeah, he didn't raise 400. His GoFundMe is at 300,000.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
It was at 450.
$250,000 was still a lot of them.
Look, courts can do. Look, Beans. Courts can do it. Okay, let's just take it this way, and we ain't gonna go too much down in the rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. So when the district attorney or the magistrate, whatever they use in whatever that city, because some people use one versus the other. Right. When they go into the evidentiary hearing for the bond reduction, maybe they seen a video. And she looked right at the prosecutor and said, "Are y'all gonna go forward with Murder One with this evidence?"
Right. And
they said, "No, it's the thing that we added on to. We gonna go for manslaughter or whatever." Well, then we out of the ballpark with this $1 million or $250,000. Y'all don't understand. There's a lot of things happening in these evidentiary hearings when it comes down to bond reduction.
Yeah. Are you a flight risk? Do you have a criminal history? Right. Do you have people that vouch for your character? He had all that going for him. You on the sports?
He didn't run. Yeah, he didn't run. He's still up under the care of his parents. It's all of those things that they
house
hold.
arrest. He got house arrest. He got an ankle bracelet. He's never
I don't
had.
know if y'all saw it, OG, but the reports say when the police approached him and said, "We have the alleged," he said, "No, it ain't alleged. I did it.
I did it." Yeah. He's like, I was protecting myself.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Protecting
that's a
myself ain't
different
murder
ball
one.
game.
Protecting yourself and staying your ground.
No,
So
but that was just his stance on it.
I get that as a stance.
And
I'm just saying,
he shouldn't have said shit like that, though.
he shouldn't have said anything. But
Even if I think what we're saying is that it leans towards let this nigga out.
His credibility.
Yeah, he
and that
ain't.
he's
Yeah, you know what I'm
honest.
saying? Like,
that he's, you know, with all the other stuff.
But they didn't let him
That's how we have to really look at it.
Can I ask y'all a question though? What and this is just on the same topic. What do you think his parents are thinking about right now? This guy, go ahead.
It's just him not being booked. I mean, I've been saying since the first time I heard this that they about to book this kid. I don't see how he gets away with this.
You know what's really crazy though?
This right here. Now y'all telling me this.
You know what's really crazy though? What's really crazy is that young man is getting threats. She don't care about the young man. She only care about the woman.
The whole family.
Yeah, so that's
look, both families and the judge, everybody's getting threatened in this. This is how wild this whole thing is.
But that is where the the nation is coming in play.
Yeah, somebody got to be a man about it and say, if it's my son and my son stabbed that little boy in self-defense, and everybody want to do threats, fuck all this sitting in the house being quiet. Put me on the camera. Hey, listen, y'all know where I'm at. Social media probably gave you my address, whatever. Hey, listen, if you decide you want to come over here anytime, night or day, I'm gonna send you where the white boy. I'm gonna kill every one of you.
I think that's
what I would tell them. You gotta get on the camera and tell them.
I think the nation is definitely involved, because let me tell you what they did do. That was, and I commend them on it. They didn't even have a press conference. The parents was like, "Nah, we ain't speaking on none of this shit." Now, the white boy's mama came out there saying a bunch of shit and the boy and the brother, and that's where it got to the point where, oh shit, that shit's gonna be used in court. Yeah. But the brother, nope, they was like, nah.
The fucked up thing is though, the internet is undefeated because they got a picture of the white boy in a car with a gun on his lap. And in the quotations, he said, looking for some dark to shoot or some shit like this. His mom and daddy went and deleted the post. But you know somebody got that screenshot, that motherfucker. Right?
Yeah, whoever the damn carrier is.
And the daddy got a sexual criminal record too.
Wait, if it's Sprint, if it's Verizon, they got it. Shit, what you talking about? That shit's in the clouds, baby. They can pull that.
You know what? Ain't nobody really pulling up except drill rappers. Ain't nobody on some drop your location except drill rappers. Like people been talking about what they gonna do to Zimmerman for 15 years. Look, ain't nothing really popping. I don't care about what people say on Twitter. Twitter's where fat people go to talk shit about people they can't be.
I have to disagree. Zimmerman should be dead.
I'm not saying he should or shouldn't. I'm saying they tweet about it all the time. Ain't nobody did nothing.
I mean, it's my son. He gone. If it's my son, he gone.
Yeah, but I think that's reasonable though, right? Like I think it's kind of unfair to ask people to stand up on principle or morality at this point when we don't do that instinctively across the board for every situation or everybody, right?
Thank you, Bings.
I think if we wouldn't have found somebody right now that was diagnosed with terminal illness, they ain't got but 3 months left to live. Hey, listen, man. your family gonna be straight, bro. I promise you. We got 2.6 million. Your moms, your daughter, your son, your baby mamas, everybody gonna be all right. I believe them niggas will go pull the trigger on them.
Oh yeah,
so,
maybe.
But maybe I know
maybe.
But when I saw
I ain't got but 3 of them left. Fuck it.
Yeah, when I saw Zimmerman at that fucking Klan rally signing what do you call it? The teas.
Autographs.
Yeah, he was signing it, putting his signature on the cans of tea and signing Skittles packs and shit, smiling, taking pictures with these fucking hunky redneck cracker bitch ass niggas. And so my thing is, after you see that, like as a father, dude, like why is this man still breathing?
Well, that's what happens when the 92% supports the party that does that.
Oh,
now we go talk about it.
Yeah, there you go.
That dude's gonna be the man wherever he go. Lost his translation. He gonna be the man wherever he go. They gonna be tapped in. They're gonna be tuned in. They're gonna make sure he's straight. He gonna be in dormitory style prison. You know what I'm saying? He gonna have phone call. He gonna have a cell phone in there with him. Like that dude, the dude who gets rid of Zim, he only got 3 months to live. Like he gonna get treated royally for those last 3 months of his life. Like for sure.
Maybe.
That's what they do. They lock up all the guys. You know, unfortunately, I know we look at things a certain way. Listen, I sold crack, and believe it or not, I refuse to sell heroin because I saw what heroin did versus what crack did, and I was just like, I don't want to do that to nobody. The way heroin had people just standing outside, slumped over, I just couldn't see it. I actually had a conscience about it. That being said, a lot of guys who live that kind of lifestyle, we judge them, but salt and sugar has killed more people and destroyed more lives than crack ever did, and it's not even close. And unfortunately, a lot of our guys who would, to BMU's point, take those kind of measures against a Zimmerman and anyone like him, they in jail already, man. You know, those are the guys that lived life on the edge, live by their own rules, you know what I mean? And they in jail already, man. Us guys out here, and I can't speak for y'all, but I'm a punk, man. You know, I like sex too much. I ain't trying to, you know. But
they got a lot of shit.
If they hit me with a diagnosis tomorrow and tell me I only got 3 months to live, BMU, take care of my family. I got you. I go get that motherfucker for you.
Yeah. And I was going to talk about this at Barbershop Friday. Just a quick preview. You know, a guy did a video on TikTok, I think it was, and he said, if this boy he used white man.
Mm-hmm.
If this boy is found not guilty, then we're going to start taking things into our own hands in the community. Well, hey, listen, brother, you know, I go ahead and do what you got to do. You know, I mean, this is not 1953. This is not the year our pain was born. This is a different type of fucking world we live in.
And I thought, but BMU, I thought the dad came out already on some, we not really mad, or we don't like on some peaceful shit. Like I thought.
Yeah. Well, his dad was like, who raised him? Who was his parents?
No, so that was during the time of the numbness. You know how people, they have, once it kick in, it's something totally different. So when that shit was still, you know what I'm saying, still fresh. I mean, they just, yesterday buried the young man?
Yep.
I think, yeah. So now, like when you heard the mom, she called him a man. She said, I don't know what was in that man's mind. You know, and it was kind of like, oh shit. This shit is about to be a little more deeper than what people can even imagine. Yeah. So now it makes it even worse now that my man is out, and they're like, how could you drop the bond and all of this stuff? So yeah, we about to see a whole bunch of this, man. I mean, it's that's just what
Black
is.
Man.
When was OJ? When was OJ? What year was that?
That was
90,
man. 96.
92.
Something like that. Yeah.
94,
It was 96. It was
94,
97.
No, 94, 95 was the trial.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so the verdict
OJ and the Bronco was like 91, 92 because the Bulls was on their first tip. So that was like 91.
Yeah. I had just graduated from high school.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
You know what, Black Man? I got a question, man.
Chronic was 92, so it had to have been like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's my thing, man. We got people wanting us to do something about it. If we have more people on the jury, you know, we can do something about it. You know, if he was being measured by a group of his peers. But our problem is we cut our peers off, you know, before they get born. You know, we have them scooped out of the wombs, you know what I'm saying, before they become adults to actually be on these panels and these juries. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my thing is that when people start running off at the mouth, talking about what we should do, how about you not kill us off? You know what I'm saying? How about give us a chance at having us some folks on the jury so we can use the system that was built to take us down. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's the type of stuff we talking about.
If you tied all the dead babies together that got aborted by black women, you can walk from Alaska over into downtown Russia.
Shit.
And that's bad.
I did a show on it.
That's bad. It's
Yeah,
real
I
bad.
just pissed off a whole panel of people before I came over here because they was talking about, supporting America and this and that and blah, blah, skip. And I can't even remember what the question they asked me was. But I know for some reason I dove into population control, and I was like, damn, it's like 130 million more white people than we actually need. And of course, that didn't go over very well. But I was hitting it from a logical standpoint because how they like to talk about black people, and they like to say black people are disproportionately accounting for 50% of murders. And I'm like, yeah, but why y'all don't say that when you're talking about diabetes, when you're talking about heart disease, right? Hypertension, all these other things. Like, you don't talk about those things that we also disproportionately suffer from at a higher rate. And if you look at that and you say, okay, cool, we can tie this into population control based on the way that they're feeding us, the way that they're producing meat and all this other stuff at a Burger King, McDonald's. It's way more McDonald's and Burger Kings than it is Whole Foods, right? So if you look at this and then you say, damn, on some level they are trying to have population control and they are trying to get rid of people. Even if I accept that that's a necessity, damn, why are you trying to get rid of minorities? Why are you trying to get rid of the population that's the lowest numbers on the totem pole versus these people? It's 212 million of them, according to my latest Google search, right? We could definitely stand to get rid of some of them motherfuckers if you want. And I'm not even saying kill them off. I'm saying like ship them away, like y'all tell niggas to go back to Africa all the time. Send some of these motherfuckers back to Ireland and Bulgaria and, you know what I'm saying, and Italy and all these other places, right?
Beans, my only pushback to you is that we understand how they're trying to get rid of us. They're trying to get rid of themselves with fentanyl. That's their drug of choice. So that's population control.
Many of them, right? Is the point is that it's not affecting us. What their plans affect us disproportionately more than they do white people.
I agree with that.
That's the problem. But they don't talk about that part. They only talk about you guys commit more murder than white people. It's like
but then the FBI comes out and says the most dangerous man in America is the white man.
Right.
Right. If you look at the essence of the numbers, that's correct, BMU. Yeah, they play with the numbers in their favor. Or I'm just saying, just a general cases, because I don't disagree with what you said, Beans. But there's the guys like Bill Gates who talk about population control. Even though there might be a racist tint, they want to get rid of everybody. And they just do it differently. They just want to do it. They just do it differently depending on your racial backup. Like I think that's a
weapon.
In order for it to be accepted, though, you have to, capitulate to the majority in that.
Hey, Major Payne, we got a secret weapon. You know that? Nobody know we had a secret weapon?
No. Okay.
Y'all didn't know that? We got a younger generation who say they're going to fuck them out of existence.
Oh, no, not.
Everybody going to be khaki color.
I don't know.
There you go. Yeah, I'm telling you.
That shit getting low too. It's like it's so many gay women now. Like, shout out to Anton Daniels from AntonDaniels.com, man. He was on that panel with old girl, and she was like, "What if I'm just a woman who enjoys the touch of a woman every now and then? What does that make me?" He was like, "That shit makes you gay."
And you know what? This is a crazy one, and we probably
hold on, JT. Hold on, JT. I'm getting old, JT. Hold on, JT. Did y'all see on Anton's show where the girl came on with the wig on and she said, "I'm getting married. I got a fiance. I'm writing a book about men and about marriage." He said, "How long you been married?" And she said, "He said, she's how long you been? He's how you been engaged?" She said, "I've been a couple of weeks." "How long you been knowing the man?" 3 months.
Yeah, I saw that shit.
And now you ready to write a book about marriage? And then think about it. He in Nigeria, she here.
Oh yeah, they setting themselves up. But this is what was crazy. I don't know where I saw this, but listen, our pain. You know how many years it took for your generation to have the generation before y'all to have you guys in a boom, the baby boomers, right? That's a lot of fucking people. They were doing a lot of fucking, right?
76 million. 76 million baby boomers.
Yeah. So you had
18 in my family.
Right. So watch this.
My grandmother's oldest of 22.
So 70 years from that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The youngest boomer. Look what's happening now. We got the baby bust, which you was just about to say, Beans. Now they're not having as many children.
Mm-mm.
This is where the homosexuality is coming in. This is where you have Planned Parenthood is an old way of getting rid of it. Now you got women want women, and then you got this man want man thing. And while people keep saying it's a small minority, you like, and they're steady growing. You steady ain't understanding what's happening right now. It was the same way because even when you think about how they had to get those folks to do it, first and foremost, you had what? World War II, the Korean War, and then the one that just knocked it all out was the doggone Vietnam War. Look how many people was just up out of here. That was the reason why they had to. So they had to do things to get people to want to have bigger families and more people. Now look what it is. They're doing the total opposite now. That shit is crazy to me, man. And I'm like, wow. And all you hearing, because it's one thing where we done had it on this panel where you have the infiltrators come in here and we done talk to them. We figured out ain't no talking to them. They don't even want to have a fucking conversation. So we said, fuck you, go back to your corner. Now, the problem we have though, black man, is that when you hear all these other panels, guess who you hearing talking about this whole thing of same-sex marriages and same-sex relationships? Most of them are women.
Women.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy part about it.
You know why,
What
JT?
the thing is, JT?
They don't qualify for a man. That's why.
Right. You have to find, we got to find a way to put hinges on their lips and shut the door. Because this is what happens. Like the other day, I don't know, I thought it was on Sharon and somebody was talking shit about the gay shit. Accept that boy in that purple dress and go with support your son no matter what. I don't believe that. I said, well, if a person believes they want to be something and they happy with what they believe, I say, listen. I said, what's going to happen next? I said, because you already got people, you can't call them edophiles no more, right? They said, no, it's too harsh. You have to call them MAPS. And anybody that's been studying this knows that MAPS means minor attracted persons.
Mm-hmm.
And meaning that you're attracted to fucking children. So,
yeah. And they have a flag. They have their own flag.
Yeah. So my thing is, if you believe that a person should believe what they want to believe and live their life that they want to live, then that means you support that. Mm-hmm. Because it's coming. It's going to be LGBTQIA plus M. MAPS.
Oh, they already got it called a NIMLA. And it's been pushed through the Supreme Court to try to get it as equal rights for male love and, whatever. But anyway, this is why that tribalism could be so dangerous, because I never, ever, ever, ever want
get the
men
word out.
loving men's become a tribe.
I knew you were trying to find that word.
Men loving men become a tribe, because I feel like that would be worse than the Crips, the Blood, and the MDs and the MCs and everything else. Because anytime a man can take a dick, he got to be the strongest person over. I don't want to fight him.
He can take a punch.
Especially if all those guys are like Omar.
I beg your pardon. I've been constipated like before, and that's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is, if you can do that, that's going to be a hell of a warrior. So we don't never want them to get in tribes.
That's why we can't be silenced, man, especially when we come in. Let me tell you, with a lot of these panels that I get mad about is when they do talk about women and men relationships, and they allow people to come in there and derail the whole premise of what they're talking about, right? You're talking about family. You're talking about women and men. We're not getting along with each other. The reason why. And then somebody bring their old funky ass up on the panel. And now they want to start talking about, well, what if it's a woman that like a woman and partners and all this other shit that we be looking at? And I'm looking like, hey, man, we got to get them. My whole thing is this. You are not privileged to be on this panel, now, because that's not what we're talking about. You can't just come up on our panel and you think that you can just start talking about what you want to talk about. It breaks the infrastructure of what we're trying to convey as men and as women. We have enough problems with each other. Shit. I don't want to have to deal with your shit too.
You're right, because a shitty deal is a shitty deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you start talking about men on men, that's a shitty deal.
Man, right.
And so, I mean, hey, look, I just say it this way. Reason why I wouldn't never be Beans, I would never be one of them guys who got 3 months to live, unless, I've been promised 125 years. So you had to wait a long time, and he probably be dead by that time. So there are some guys out there who probably got 2 or 3 months left in their life, but I've been promised 125.
Yeah.
You know what? These folks around here talking about kids and all this other stuff. All of that stuff in the Bible, man. So don't do all of that. And next thing you know, they're gonna be around sleeping with goats.
I know, lost in translation, there's still 5 United States allow you to have sexual relations.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, 5 states.
Yeah.
That's
let
crazy.
you have sexual relationship with them.
I bet you they in the South too, ain't they?
No, you'd be surprised.
No. You know what? I forgot. We have a Nebraska. We got all that shit in the corner that don't nobody deal with. Because we got some states down that don't nobody. They be like, man, I'm not going to that. Ain't shit there. So you're right.
I stopped eating chicken about 35 years. I seen what they did to chicken.
Wait a minute. What they do to the chickens?
They didn't come from just you doing it to yourself.
They done violated the chicken.
They choking the chicken.
They marinated the chicken from the inside. Ain't no way, man.
Oh man.
So
that's crazy.
No,
I think we got him, man.
Yeah, I think we got some ways over there. I understand the premise.
All right, Beans, we love you, boy. We good, man.
My man. But we got to the premise of the thing is that, and I mean, we still should have more conversation because, yeah, man. Even with OG, when you talk about the nation, right? And I'm looking like, yeah, if shit start really hitting the fan, people gonna start falling to the nation. But they've already been prepared based off of the teachings, right? And that's the craziest thing is I'm listening and I'm like, okay, I see what they've done, right? I see what they continue to do. And I see how they get the bloodline, which is the currency and their money, how they do it. And one of the things that you are absolutely right. They help the black folks. They actually help them. They actually would say, no, this is what it is. This is our thing. That when they provide protection and stuff like that, hey man, that's their business. Security is a hell of a business that they've grown really big. I could not believe the amount of people. Look how many rappers had the Nation of Islam to come and be security for them. You know why?
Soul Train Awards. Hey,
man,
New York, a whole place in New York. It wasn't Starlight City. It's one of them big old low income complexes. They build the high rises, right?
Yeah.
We say, no, we don't need y'all cops up in here. We go in here and we go regulate our own people. And we don't carry guns.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And we was up against guns. But one thing I could tell you about our people, the worst gang members, the worst people, they know when somebody bullshitting with them. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna give you that respect because they know you ain't about snitching and none of that. You about this gonna have to be straight for everybody.
Oh man, you just said something.
That respect. They give you that respect.
I'm literally, because even when the more you talking, and I know we about to get up out of here, Lost, but the more it's starting to really, really come to me about how, like, I know some Muslim brothers, right? And the craziest part about that is these brothers had a life before they moved over. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. They know the streets. They know all the other things to go. So that would be the best person to talk to. It makes like the principles that you can gather from that organization, man, is just, it's just when I'm just hearing with, like when you're talking about it, I'm like, dang, I remember my father, he used to put me up on it, right? Because my father, when I was 2 and 3 years old, he used to have his partners. They was in the nation. You know, this was during the time where all y'all know karate. All y'all know how to, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was karate or boxing or whatever it was always something to keep your body, your mind, and your spirit conditioned. And that was one of the things my father had brought to me. I didn't know what it was at first until when my father told me what this was, because he's always been a person that followed Allah. He wasn't a going to church, a Christian and all of that stuff. And our whole family was, but I never knew that whole thing about his principles and the way that he took care of me and my brother. And he had that woman until he died, who is now living with me, his wife, my mama. And now when I see this, I'm like, principles.
General
We have to have discipline. We have to have principles. We have to have all these different things in order for us. And I'm talking about all of us, United States and the world or whatever. And a lot of people have fell so far away from it now, where it's going to take, some suffering before a lot of people can really understand that we don't want to go this route no more.
Supreme wisdom and general orders is what kept us together.
Yep.
All right.
So,
shout out to Antoine for the $5 super chat. He said the Nation of Islam has become the standard bearer of Black empowerment.
Tell the truth.
Yeah,
that's right. We'll give him a little $5 super chat action. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got something for you. Here we go.
Plus sizes. They said big bag bitch, get to the bag. They said big bag bitch, you want a snack? Well, this big bag bitch, she got the stack. So put big bag bitch clothes on the rack. Ooh, on the macaroni. Move and shake it for me. Ooh, we shaking and quaking. The brands are phony. Ooh, the brands are phony. Ooh, they need a Tony. They need an Emmy, Oscar, Grammy, cause the shit's baloney. The way they be faking like they're making all the sizes. If you ain't got at least a 4X, you ain't trying. Ooh, so give it to us, baby. Give us our guy. Give it to us when we step on the spot. Ooh, plus sizes. They said big bag bitch, get to the bag. They said big bag bitch, you want a snack? Well, this big bag bitch, she got the stack. So put.
Shout out to Antoine for the $5, man.
And I want to say this too before we get out of here. I'm back here editing this video, but I want to say something. Next week it's gonna be a really, really hard, tough conversation to have. I love to have you back over here, J Speed, and the rest of you guys, man. I think the last couple of weeks with you guys being on here has been just special, But next week we're speaking about the Bible is now hate speech. And so we're talking about that Tuesday. The Bible is now hate speech. And if you really just think about that for a moment, and you think about what God says a man, how he's supposed to be with his woman. And I was reading the other day, and Deuteronomy 24:1 is pissing a lot of women off. And a pastor just preached this. Listen, man, if y'all don't know that, there's a guy, he's a pastor of 2819 Church. What's his name? I'm trying to think of his name. Anthony something. But he preached at a church, and he preached it, and he talked about how Deuteronomy 24:1 says that if you find any indecency in your wife, you should give her a certificate of divorce and get her out your house.
Mm-hmm.
And they dragging him for it. They own him. They own him bad. Hey, but he said this is Bible. He said now we get into a time and place. That's where I got the subject from. He said we get into a time and place where the Bible is now hate speech. He said they're trying to counsel me for reading what the word says in the Bible.
Because it was always treated as a smorgasbord. And now you're going to have to eat what's on the plate and not what you want. You got to take all of it. And that's the problem right now. And I'm telling you right now, black man, it's been in the makings for at least 20 years now.
Oh, his name is Philip Anthony Mitchell, guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's a bad man, boy.
Y'all listen to Jennings?
Huh?
Jennings be getting them hell.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah, that's one I listened to.
Jennings is the first
one.
I've seen that actually pulls people that disagree with him to the pulpit, and they will have their debate or whatever it is. Yeah, yeah, they would definitely have.
He say, preachers, if your wife is walking around with her cleavage out, got a short skirt on, I'm talking to you. Your wife's a whore. Your wife's a whore.
Your wife's a whore.
Yeah. Well, that's it now. So, but yeah, Jennings, I have never seen a man that know the Bible backwards and forward.
You're wicked. Wicked. You're wicked. That's right. You're wicked. Back in Leviticus. You're wicked. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I don't
he know
chase
it backwards
booty.
and forward. And when he call out them numbers, he go, let me tell you, let's go to scripture. And so he get that, and that guy be reading. That's old time religion right there.
Yep.
He pull it right on up right quick.
And he don't give a damn what nobody think either.
Yeah.
Right. He had some mannequins up there and showing a man how he supposed to dress and how a woman supposed to dress.
Yeah.
Y'all ever see that one?
Yeah. Did you see when he went to the radio station and the girl got on him? She said, so basically you're saying that if we dress with our cleavage out and our butts out, we're whores. She said, yeah.
Yes.
And then she said, so if I'm walking down the street in tights, and he said, why would she want to do that? He said, a man is visual. He said, yes, a man's going to look at you when you're walking down the street and your vagina and your butt is showing. You know, he said you can see your cervix
the
when you walk
very
down the
shape
street.
of your birth canal.
Yeah, your birth canal. Right. And he said you can see that. He said, so a man, or he said, why would you even want to dress that way? What's the purpose of you dressing that way?
His words are powerful, man. It's powerful, and it reminds me, even when you're talking about the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, his words are so powerful. And one of the things that I love about hearing those guys speak, because they don't do all this hipping and hopping and you know, they speak with a strong bravado, you know what I'm saying? And they use the words the way that they're supposed to use them. And that's what we need, because it stings, man. When you ain't ever had the real word in you, and nobody's ever gave you that point where it really breaks through in your soul, that hurts people, man. And so this is why, and that's going to be great, BMW. That you, it's going to be great that we do have that conversation, because it's been to a point where even when you got people that say that they don't believe in a higher power and things like that, man, you better start believing in something, because when you don't believe in anything, you're lost. There's no other way. You'll fall for anything. And one of the things I do know about men, and especially you guys on this panel, and it reflects off of me too. I'm a cool guy, right? But you can't just step over the lines with me without feeling things from me when I tell you. Like, it's kind of like my words pushes you back, right? And I hear that from all of you guys also, right? You're nice, you're benevolent, but there's a point that you guys get to where you just be like, I'm not having this shit. Every one of you guys,
that fool up out of here.
Yeah, every one of you guys is like that, man. So that's one of the things where we have to look at our young folks and be like, look, this is kind of like how men are. This is how men are. We don't just take everything and be like, well, you know, well, we try to be diplomatic, but there's a point in ours where you'll be like, damn, he's steady, he stand on it. One of the people that I can tell you right now, that RP be like, well, you know, wait, and he'll be trying to be with you, and then y'all there, man, what the hold the fuck up? Now wait a goddamn minute.
Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you crazy?
And I love this about this panel, man, because we have boundaries and people know that. You know what I'm saying? And they understand. No, that's what men are. That's one of the biggest reasons why you got people that's scared to come up here on this panel.
You know what, JT? That's the main reason why I kicked that clown out of whatever that name was, Black, whatever that was.
Black
because
and brown.
I whatever the hell her name is, I told her that she needs to show respect And then she waited about 5 minutes later and she said something stupid and I banished her ass from the channel. We're not putting up with that over here no more.
Absolutely.
My words mean something and you're going to feel it. I think that's our problem, man.
Yeah.
Our problem is that we do too much damn talking. There ain't no damn action. I'm about that action. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'll be reasonable to a point, but after I lay down the boundary and you cross it, it's over. There's no more negotiations. And I think that's how we have to be, man.
Yeah. And sometimes you speak prematurely. I can't even say the damn word because
prematurely. We got you. I already got you, man.
Okay, you already got me. Good.
I had it in my back pocket for you.
Okay. So sometimes we speak, and you got to understand, not one general go get in front of another general and tell him what his war strategy is. So some things we can't even speak about. And they got to understand that's part of security right there.
Yep.
And if you don't understand that, just because we ain't yelling it out and waving a flag, you know what I mean?
Right.
You might be putting somebody else's life in danger.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know how we move. We don't get out there and tell people how we move. Y'all just see us show up.
That's it.
And you know what?
When y'all see us, ain't nobody come back out there and make no speeches about it. Y'all just see us show up.
You know what, JSP? Not only that, you
Absolutely.
sure as hell ain't finna shame us into no damn action either.
Right.
Right. That's
you
crazy.
gonna disrespect us all year long, and then you gonna come in with that bullshit, and you gonna shame us into action. You lost your damn mind.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. When niggas slap fire out.
That's right. I know we're on final thoughts, but I just gotta say, man, that the toughest things any man has ever done is turn down a nice piece of willing, steaming ass piece of pussy. Besides, the last thing I want to say is
it's disgusting.
Yesterday, men are. I think we're tired of taking the blame for everything, man. It's way past due for that. The reason why we're fucked up is because our women are completely out of fucking nature. And I put up 3 slides yesterday with all of the with a great deal of the recent women who reached high heights, for mayors, AGs, everything. They all fumbled the bag. Names and Letitia James just may get indicted for real estate fraud. They just have another lady who just almost murdered a man, a judge, a black female judge. They can't will
shot her boyfriend in the head, right?
So when you look at the list of modern, you don't have to go back that far. I looked at all of the ladies that we know, Marilyn Mosby, Tiffany Henyard. You go down. I'm just saying, we need to stop taking the blame for the fact that things are out, because I think we still try to maintain the nature that we have. And the fact is that women have forgotten the face of their father.
Mm-hmm.
They just have. And I don't know how much Black Girl Magic had to do with that, but because of their selfish nature, being feminism, when I look at, is family dead? Yeah, when we say chivalry's dead, yeah, because women killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Family's dead because women are killing it.
Yeah,
they are killing it. I you know what? And you know what? Not all women, but enough to make a difference.
Right, and I need to ask my wife.
Not all women, but enough to make a difference.
I actually asked my wife for a hall pass so I can go and bang up Jasmine Crockett. She's getting out of line. And seen Jasmine Crockett turn around yesterday, and I said, "Wow, that's a lot back there to." She always
be the man for that job.
What'd you say, go? What's that?
I think Coach Greg will be the one good for that job.
Coach Greg will be the best man for the job.
He Coach Greg now for now. He Coach Greg.
JT, she was doing a press conference.
All the fingers are pointed at you, Coach.
She was doing a press conference, and she turned around to the crowd and said, "Hey," I said, "Wait a minute, Jasmine, what do you got going on there?"
Yeah,
so somebody needs to. She ain't got no man.
Put her in her place.
She don't have no man. Not that with Twerk Team 6. You know, every time they having some kind of rally somewhere.
Yeah, I just like us in section 2, boy. AOC. AOC bad too.
Y'all crazy as hell.
Big Ferg, take us up out of here, man.
Let's go, Coach Greg.
Hey man, listen, man.
BMW is he something else.
Coach Ferguson had more ass than the toilet seat.
Hey man, listen, man. It was
Coach Greg.
listen. It was a great show, man. You know, I appreciate the dialogue when it comes to tribe and family, man. But you know, I think for any man, who's willing to make a difference in his life, man, just be consistent in whichever path you choose, man. Life is a journey, man. It's a marathon. Don't be trying to run it too fast because you'll burn yourself out. And we in a unique place, man, as the show says, this is the gray area of our evolution right now. And those that see it and take advantage of it will come out victorious on the other side. Those that continue to want to just play this game of niggerism and everything is always this and always that and blaming others, you're going to be, as in Brother Jeff said, you're going to be in the fish grease. And that shit is hot as hell. So, you know, salute to everybody, man, that's trying to be better, man. It's springtime, man. Everybody get in shape, man. Take care of your health, man. Eat right. Get good sex like my doctor told me, man. And, you know, just focus on your family, man. And so you can build that tribe. Because if you can connect with your family, you can build a tribe. But again, and vice versa. So however you want to look at it, just make sure you're moving accordingly, moving your righteous energy, man. Other than that, man, get out of these kids' way. Let these kids live, man, because y'all fucking up they shit. They need a
And for you brothers who may be like me, that don't need no doctor to tell you how good sex, that son tell you that every morning about 6 o'clock. So
man, shout out to Antoine, man.
$5 sunrise. But anyway, it's been a great bit over here. And as I always say, anywhere I can sprinkle a little bit of dust and make somebody start cleaning the house all over again. That's it helps, believe it or not. You teach one has always been my mindset. Peace, love, and I always strive for the truth. Black man unfiltered. You know, you just hit me up, and if I'm available, I'm coming screaming.
For sure.
Appreciate you coming through, Jason.
All right, OG. Most definitely, man. Salute to you, brother.
Right. $5 super chat from Antoine. He says, men are tired of feeling unvalued, unappreciated, and unloved. You know, that's another thing, man. You can't continue to ask men to do things and you don't honor them. And I think that's our problem, man. We stop honoring men for the things that they do, for who they are, for what they do. And it's a shame, man. And then they want us to come running whenever they need some help. I don't think that's how that works. I think men have long memories. And sometimes when you get into trouble, I think sometimes when they'll think about the last time you denigrated them or said something crazy about them, they may not move as swiftly as you would like them, but they come in anyway. And I think that speaks to the benevolence of men. So my thing is this: if you guys enjoy the show, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit subscribe. Make sure you guys share the content. That's the only way we're going to grow, because we already know the algorithm ain't exactly in our favor. So for y'all coming out, I really do appreciate y'all, man, coming out to another edition of Flipping Tables and Black Man Unfiltered. Fellas, y'all want to say anything before we get up out of here, man?
Hey, man, great conversation, bro. I love it. Hey, let's end it on that one, man. I love each and every one of y'all, man. Most definitely.
Peace out.